title in Major 3. And honestly, I am so excited to watch this duo. They have been competing in Fortnite for a very long time, Apolli, since 2019 Winter Royale.
Yeah, these guys have been by far the best Asia team this year. They've been so consistent. I'm interested to see what they're going to do today. They're landing at the north side of the map by that sort of island area. I think what we've seen from some of the Asia scrims as well is what we think is going to happen. They're going to land on that mainland area, try and third party that Rebels Roost fight, get some early Storm Surge damage, and then play the game out as they like to. And the way that they like to is very low ground heavy, very consistent, not crazy amount of eliminations in mid game, but in end game, that's where they thrive. So I'm expecting lots of consistency from these guys. I'm expecting lots of end games.
Okay. What's this? I got my notes here. It just says Queasy, Thomas, HD. They're pretty good. They're pretty all right.
Yeah, a lot of people would say really good. I mean, Queasy getting second place in the Invitational with Veno way back when. And then, of course, Thomas HD, the best to never win a title, literally missing out on first place by 1 point.
I mean, and that was 2 years in a row as well. Major 1 this year, missed out by 1 point. Major 1 last year, another point. So it was so unfortunate for him. This could be a really good opportunity for them. They're finally uncontested. I feel like Thomas is always contested when it comes to lands, and it's really troublesome for him. But I'm interested to see what they can do. They're landing at the north, the south side of the map, the sort of southeast area, that small building just to the east of the map. I'm interested to see what they can do because Thomas HD is just so good with that pistol. I was speaking to him, he was saying, yeah, we're gonna be carrying one of those pistols, and I was like, yeah, mate, I hope you're carrying that pistol because that's your job in this duo. But no, I'm really excited because these guys have all that LAN experience already. They have all the experience of playing online as well. I'm expecting big things.
Well, we've only got one thing left to do, and that is introduce the 10 remaining duos to Dickies Arena. Y'all better make some noise!
It's time to get loud because Vico and Flixie are here. After displaying their dominance in EU Major 3, now they're ready to keep that momentum going and add a trophy to the collection.
Let's take a look at Asia's powerhouse, Zaku and Shadow. It isn't easy being on top, and consistency will be key for this duo to make their regions proud.
Bryce and Bolts are in the house. These guys are not new to the global stage, but the question now is how far can they make it together?
They are back! Malabuka and Merstache coming back together as a duo this year and taking home an FNCS championship was huge for their region.
All the way from ME, it's Cal and Haman. These guys have been at the top of their region for several seasons, so the confidence is there, but it's showtime now on the global stage.
Yo. Oh my god, my mic is fucking working, bro. No, wait. Yo. Bro, I've been trying to get my mic to work for like so long. What's up, brothers? I'm back. Watching globals. I swear to god, bro. Some Vino better not. Oh, bro. Come on. I'm a little late, but like, man, who cares?
You know who this is, it's Kanata and Cooper, an absolutely lethal duo. We can't see what the reigning champion can do.
Cammy and Zeddy, your FNCS Invitational champions are in the building. With a second place last year, now it's time for redemption. Second is not an option.
But wait, let's give it up for Clix and Vino!
Yeah! Clix and Vino, bro. Bro, I can't believe Vino actually switched to exit. That's crazy.
And that's success. Dickies Arena, I mean, come on! This is who we'll be seeing compete! These are 50 of the best duos in the world! Are you not entertained?
There's no chat, bro?
Let's go!
My gosh, to hear the crowd just lose it for these last 10 duos. One in particular stood out to me. Malabuka and Merstache, you guys went crazy for them. These guys, I mean, to see them come out and to see them compete on stage. I'm worried, not for them, but for everybody else.
I mean, one of the longest lasting duos. We've seen them compete together since Chapter 2, and then they did break up for Chapter 4, but they knew that they were the duo to be together. Right. Bringing it back together in Chapter 5, and then getting that first place in Major 1.
Yeah,
okay.
so good for these guys. Had a really solid year overall.
Fucking go, bro.
6th and 4th. I feel like it's kind of gone under the radar a little bit because they are so good. I'm expecting big things from this duo. I was speaking to Mustache as well. Of course, they're landing at that restored reels there. I said, Mustache, are you a little bit concerned about being contested? He said, actually, I feel like we're better off being contested by Alex and Worthy there at restored reels. I feel like they feel like they can finish the fight quickly. They can get those Storm Surge tags early. And then when it comes to late game, they've kind of evolved their strategy a lot compared to that Chapter 3 Malibuca Mustache that we saw. That sort of season, that sort of chapter, they were going for loads of pre-edits. They were going for loads of eliminations in the end game. It seems like they toned that down a little bit. I mean, in fact, they're actually doing half the amount of pre-edits in end game as they were all the way back in Chapter 3. So it seems like they're playing a little bit more calmly, a little bit more carefully, but of course, if they make it off spawn, they need to make the games count.
That is kind of crazy. Something else is crazy. What was it, Zeke? Invitational champions Cammy and Seti looking to make a return to this stage. I mean, if we got an invitational little title, we got a global championship title, that'd be kind of insane.
I mean, they're already regarded as the land goat. As you said, winning the Invitational, getting 2nd place at the Global Championships last year. And although they may not have had the best major last major, this season is looking so good for them. Absolutely. They love the low mobility meta. They have an incredible drop spot on the middle of the map. Everything is kind of working in their favor, Minnie.
Yeah, it's
Why are
they
really, zooming
nice
into
It's a really nice situation for them.
Cammy
As
like
I said
that,
earlier,
bro?
as I hinted
What
at,
the
my only slight concern for them is if someone decides to land on them off spawn. They haven't necessarily had the best time off spawn. They had a good Major 3. It was 3rd in that, or Major 2, I should say, 3rd in that major. But in the other majors, they haven't quite had the same success. They've only won 20% of their off spawn fights in those 2 majors. So intrigued as to what's going to happen there. I don't know if they're going to get contested. We're not too sure yet, but please do not count these guys out, because when it comes to the big stage, when it comes to the bright lights, when it comes to in-person events and low mobility metas, these guys always have some great strats cooking. So no matter what they've done this year, throw that out the window. It's time. Their time is now.
And we've already seen them evolve over this season. We know them to be low ground kings, but over
What?
the past cups, they actually won 2 victory royales from the high ground. It just shows how diverse this duo is, how prepared they are, and I'm wondering if they can do it again.
Okay, and we kind of got to look there at Seti. You can tell
good,
the
Charlie?
nerves are starting to set in for some of these players, right? You can always say, like, yeah, I don't have nerves when I go into this, but when you have this crowd roaring, when you're under these circumstances, there's those nerves, they start to creep up. How do you guys feel like these players are doing? Some of them, obviously, they look locked in, they're ready to go. They're enjoying the crowd, but they're thinking, I've got to win.
Tournament jitters are a real thing. You'll see players that are very comfortable in their own home, playing on their own setup, and here they are in a foreign setting around a bunch of people. Nerves can definitely play a part into it, but there is so much opportunity for these duos to learn over day 1, and then with that 1.5 for day 2, they can really evolve and kind of get more comfortable with the setting that they're in.
Yeah, and it's going to be
interesting
because I think around a third of our players
and my 0 viewers
are actually making their first international LAN appearance. So it's going to be interesting to see how those guys do, how they handle.
I think they're making a pizza, so if you want, you can come down and get that too.
Seti, I thought, was asleep for a second there. Thankfully, he isn't. He's awake and ready to go, which is great. But it seems like they're very chill about the situation. They've done it before. They've won it. They had 2nd at the last Global Championships. They've been around the block. They know how to handle the pressure. It's about how they can transfer that into the game. How can they use that little bit of an advantage that they have over the rest of the lobby that maybe hasn't had the same success, that maybe hasn't had the same experience as these guys, to really elevate their game and set them apart from the rest.
I wanted to circle back. You had kind of talked about the meta a little bit. Now, obviously, back on a Marvel season, we've seen the meta shift a little bit away from just like massive Storm Surge towers, DMR shots to kind of get.
Yes, chat can still hear me.
Viewers at home kind of expect to see with what's in game currently.
Well, with this low
Bro, my friend came over right as I'm streaming.
Towers as well, because with low mobility, you can't really rotate too quickly, obviously. Although there is the flame
clicker, yes.
And everything, there is opportunity for players to rotate.
Blood notice clicks so fast. Bro, did you hear that Vino switch to Xset? Did you hear that Vino switched orgs?
These are always stacked. These in-person events, these LAN events, they are always
stacked.
Storm Surge is going to be
I was so shocked when I heard he switched to Xset. I don't know why.
Making sure that you're keeping on top of it early on, because yeah, there's so much stress and so much.
It was just so crazy.
From being in this in-person environment,
and like right before globals is pretty insane.
Make sure you hit your shot. Getting those thermal scopes on those.
No, that's
assault rifles.
one of the announcers.
And then when it comes to mobility, I think it's those Underworld dashes. They're going to be crucial this
Bruh.
weekend. I think teams that are landing either at
You can use
tier
that,
wides
sure.
in that area or even nearby,
Don't ask
they
what
might
these
just
are.
dip their toes and get those into
Don't
the
ask,
game,
bro.
because that's literally the only useful mobility in the
So,
endgame that can
I guess
set you
we're gonna
apart
be
from the rest.
watching
Teams around there,
Globals with
I
my
expect
friend.
to do well in endgame.
There's
Cool.
also certain teams that are around those static launch pads, like Queasy and Thomas. Although they are all the way over on that southeastern side, they do have that launch pad there that will allow them to rotate, as well as the flaming hoop. So there's certain duos that
your fat
definitely
ass
do
out
have
of
a
my
lot
room.
more environmental mobility
top.
around them that they can use to their advantage. But obviously, where
Who do you
the
think
zone
is gonna
falls
win?
is going to play a major factor in how these teams rotate.
Okay, and you bring up Queasy and Thomas. We kind of touched on them a little bit. I want to circle back.
Bro, it's so hard to
we bring together
determine
two
because, like,
Titans, you know, they've had
there's so many
much
good teams, like
experience
Vico and Flixie,
separate,
they
and
frag
now
the
we
fuck
bring them
out.
together. What does that
Yeah,
look like on
they
this
probably
global
do.
stage, right? Like, are they where they need to be?
I mean, I don't really
look
know.
And say, look,
Who do you think is
this
gonna
it.
win,
This
though?
is our year. We're gonna walk
That's
away
not
with
Clicks. I
something.
think that,
I
like,
think so. Honestly,
Spinks, I
I
don't
think
know.
that they've had a lot of practice. Queasy has already proven himself on the land setting, getting
Yeah.
second place so close
Why
to
does
first.
everyone
And of
look like
course,
Spinks?
I love that moment.
Well, not
Queasy
Clicks.
dropping on
Sorry.
Cammy and Seti. Really, a lot of people still regard that
Oh,
as one of the
fuck.
best
Definitely
FNCS
not.
land moments to date. And I think that it is
Thomas
possible that we
HD,
see
bro.
Queasy bring out
He's
another
never
strat
won an
like that. They do
FNCS,
not want to get second
and he
place again.
almost
Yeah, they really do,
won,
and Thomas is
like,
still
once. He
looking
was
for that
1
FNCS
point away,
title,
so
and I
sadly,
kinda
bro.
wanted to pick his brains a little bit. I said to him,
It was
does that
so
affect
sad,
you?
bro.
Does that sort of linger and be like, oh,
I've been
you know,
streaming
I
for, like,
still
10
have one
minutes
FNCS,
already,
it's been
so
so long, I played for this
I bet
amount
my
of time.
0
And he
viewers
said,
are
no, I never
really
really look
enjoying
at the
this.
performances, my past history like that. I look at every single FNCS, I take it as it comes and try and do the best that we can, which I really like, and that shows the experience
Oh
of the
shit,
players,
wait,
right?
my
They've been playing
desktop-
for so long.
my
They've
desktop
even played
audio
together all
doesn't
way
get
back
the-
in the days in squads and stuff like that.
Oh,
so they're no
shit.
strangers to each other in this environment. So
Now my
this is gonna be
desktop
a very
audio
experienced
doesn't
duo
get
to
the
look out for,
frickin'-
and a very
they don't
experienced
hear
duo that
it.
seem to put themselves in the right position at all times. Queasy's really,
Chat, what
really
do we
good at that.
do?
He's one of those players that is, of course, going to be taking the more IGL role here, taking
Batman
the
Booga?
lead in this duo
Yes, sir.
and making sure they're in a good situation. We haven't seen them play hype too much.
I don't-
mean, you know, a lot
I-
of people are saying, like, you know, Queasy.
I don't
is
know
the
if
hype king.
Peterbot's
It's
gonna
been a little
win,
bit
but, like,
50-50 for
he
these guys.
might-
We've seen them trying to go up
he
for it,
might-
so you might think of Queasy
Because,
and
like,
they're gonna be going
bro,
up
but
every
if he
single game.
gets,
I don't
he's
think we're
being
gonna
triple
expect to see that,
con,
but they
well,
have it in their
quadruple
back
con,
pocket.
actually.
Sorry, just
So,
to bring out even more numbers.
and
Julian
they
has
also,
been missed out on first place
like,
by
they were
just
gonna
a
give, like,
single
half the
point. He's
location
gotten
to
second
Peter, and
place
then they would
3
all
times
just
and
put
then
the
first
rest.
place 4
But
times.
if
Wow.
one
I
of
mean,
those
when we talk
teams
about
do really
consistency,
bad,
there's a reason that
then they
Thomas
can
HD
just
is
switch the
considered one of
tournament
best
around.
aimers in the game. But he's
And then
aiming
it'll be
for that
crazy.
first place now.
Yeah, it's interesting. That
Wait,
you
hold
kinda,
on,
like,
wait,
you
can
think
I
about
switch
it,
the
right?
audio
If you
back
have look
to,
at those numbers and go, well, you've never won,
like,
so,
this headphone
but no,
audio?
it's- You're so
turn my
unbelievably
headphones up to
consistent
the
that
max.
literally season to season you are adapting and almost punching up, right? You know, look at Peterbot and Poyo, they're just coming out saying, we're just dropping 1,000 points. No big deal in the season, but for someone like Thomas HG with that experience, that's crazy to think about.
I mean, if you want to talk
Can you hear
about world records, Queasy and Veno getting 6 victory royales out of 12 last year. I mean, these guys just pull out these crazy strats, are able to pull out crazy plays, and I want to see it on the big stage this weekend. I know that it's going to be probably a little slow for game
I
one,
don't know
but
who-
we know a lot of these players aren't sharing
I don't know
everything
who's gonna
with us
win,
because
bro.
they have some
You
strats
have
in their
Vico and
back pocket.
Flixie
Yeah, that
fragging
seems to
the
be the
fuck
common
out.
theme
They're
when we're
like the
trying to
best
talk to
fighters
players.
in the
Oh, so
world
what are
right
you going to
now.
be doing and
And
when
then
that team
Exet.
contests you? What are you
And
going to
then
be,
you
when are you
have
rotating? They're like, you
Vino
think I'm going to tell
and
you?
Clicks.
Like,
Just
Mini,
being
you
goats.
really think I'm going to tell you? And
They're
I
in
can't
their-
get
in my
down.
opinion,
So
they're in their prime.
That's what's so impressive and what's
And
so
then
interesting
Peter and
about these
Poyo,
LAN events is
they're
everyone's in
also
the
in
same
their
lobby.
prime,
You know,
so, like,
we get to see how
the
teams,
fuck
you know,
is
we do
gonna
our
win?
VOD review, we do our preparation. The other teams will do that as well. We
This
get to
is
see
so
them in
hard
their
to
own
predict.
home
I don't know
environment,
why.
but we haven't seen this lobby ever, right? So it's going to be so interesting to see how they mesh together and how some of the fights go down early on and later on.
Yeah, that's a really scary thought, right? Because even think we've had a number of practice games leading into this,
Yeah.
right? And some of these duos have said, even in those situations, I'm not going to reveal anything, right? Someone like
What?
Booga's been like, well, I could play, or I could just kind of keep everything in the back pocket. You will get nothing from me.
Yeah, watching these scrims and not having Booga's name in it has
They're
been a
playing
little
on
bit,
different systems, I think.
not concerning
But they
necessarily,
got
although I
a
do think
240
practice
hertz
is perfect.
monitor, which is
Getting
really
any kind of
bad.
practice in
Because
before
most of them
competition,
play on
but it's
360
Booga.
hertz, so
Booga,
it's
I'm
even
sure whatever
better.
he has
But, like,
prepared is better than
since
what
they
I could
all
think
have
of.
the
I mean, I
disadvantage,
think
it's
it
still
was
gonna
looking
be
good
like
though in the
still
practice
I
scrims. It
don't
was
know.
Acorn and Cold. I think they had like
Still
60
good game. I think
eliminations in
that
one of the games. They
these
weren't backing
are
down. out.
Are
They
the
want to fight
monitors
every
they
single
provide
person.
for World
And
Cup?
just
I'm
even,
not
you
sure.
know, maybe they're not bringing out the strats that they're going to use. Maybe they're not bringing out those
Probably not,
rotations.
'cause-
Just their ability to sort of fight with each other, have that synergy. You could
Unicorn
see
Gold
glimpses of that in the practice games yesterday. So it seems like they're on top form. I'm excited to see what those guys can do as well.
But is that a bit of like painting a target on your back, right? If you're willing to go out that far and just go like, hey, we're willing to take the fight, dude, we're kind of willing to show you who we are. Thinking with someone like Fearbot, right? Just so confident, just willing to say like, hey, wherever you are, if you want to come contest us, we'll be right here. So feel free to roll on over. That could work against any of these duos.
I mean, it's great that we were just talking about Acorn and Cold and potentially contesting Peterbot and Poyo, because they did try that in the Grand Gate era.
Acorn and Cold contesting Peterbot and Poyo?
Absolutely dominated the
How would that
competition. And I mean, this duo right
How
here,
the
Peterbot and
fuck would
Poyo,
that
there is
go?
a reason that they have just been so consistent. They have conditioned the lobby, like we
What?
said.
Yep.
There was a moment during Major 2 where they were splitting height by zone 10. I don't even understand how that's possible, how you can hold height from 2 different positions, just beaming down the rest of the lobby below. No one was even looking up. I think players, though, are going to be looking up today.
Yeah, I mean, statistically, they've
The
held height for the
I
longest
don't
amount of
really
time
know.
out of any
He's
duo in this
probably-
chapter, so
he
I
probably
expect to see
is
those guys
IGL,
are on height. And to your
because,
point,
like-
Zeke, about how their confidence goes into this, I think they feed off of that so much.
I don't-
I think Peterbot has
Wait.
that aura about him where
Cooper
he
and
wants
Kanata.
to feel like
I think
he
Cooper's
is the
frag
best player in
on
this
those
lobby.
two.
Nobody comes
In
close.
my opinion.
And I think the way that he talks about himself, the way he carries himself,
He
I think really
is
aids
so
his
good,
gameplay.
in
You
my
can see
opinion.
that when he's walking out. He's just like, yeah, I belong here. I belong on
He
the big
just
stage.
needed to,
We've
like,
had second,
in
first,
Chapter
first this
4
year.
when he
This
won
is
that
our time.
FNCS,
And I think
like,
that just plays into it. Some people
invitational,
crumble under that
he just
pressure.
needed to
but
focus
Peterbot's
on his
got so much
awareness
experience
more,
now winning.
because
and
I,
he
like, saw him
believes in
once
himself,
on
and having
Peterbot,
that
and
undisputed,
all he would do is
undeniable
fucking
belief in
free
yourself
build.
is so
Like,
vital
bro,
when you
get your...
big stage.
Bro,
Okay,
like,
you
you
kind
stop
of
edit
said something
coursing
that piqued my interest.
and
We were
actually
talking
fight
about high
the
ground,
guy,
right?
bro.
Yeah.
Maybe there's people that are tuning, they're like,
Because then you're gonna
okay,
get
you
cone
said
and
high
then
ground,
you're
I don't know what
cooked.
that means.
So.
High ground, low ground. Maybe
This is
break
dumb.
this down a little bit for us, because I don't know, like you guys that follow, you know, there's a lot of high ground teams. And there's only one high ground. So how can we expect that to kind of unfold, especially like if we're all looking at high ground going, okay, are you going up, I'm going up, and then we're all thinking the same thing. We're looking for that perfect time.
Well, obviously, by having the high ground, you just have such better angles, better visuals of the rest of the lobby. And there's a lot of that goes into kind of controlling high ground. Some teams take it a little too early. They use those mats, and then when they see these high ground teams kind of switch to
I
wood
think
build,
Clicks and Vina
well,
are
that's the
going to
team
do
they're gonna try and chop
phenomenal
them
in
out,
day
try and
1.
steal high ground
And if they
from them.
do
So it's almost a little risky to
phenomenal
take
in
high
day
ground
1,
a little too early because you're going to use
I
those
don't
mats.
know
But with
this
it being a low
will
mobility
happen,
meta,
but
stealing
I
height is going to
think
be a lot
he
harder.
might contest
Yeah, it is,
them.
and I think that's where
I saw a
those
video
underworld
of,
dashes
like,
are really going
a
to come into
channel
play.
named
Pop up
Viper,
Fizz, get the underworld
and they
dashes,
said,
save them to the end
Peter,
game. I think
like,
teams that land
said
in
that
that
he
sort
was
of
gonna
area can
con,
definitely take height. And as you
Clicks.
mentioned, it's a low no
That's
mobility
full
meta,
cap,
so
though. Like,
a
no way.
structured height take is more what I
You have the
expect to
best
see
POI
here.
in the
We have
game and you
ability
just
in
wanna
the game.
ruin
We had
someone else's
varies different
tournament.
ability across
Like,
the
bro,
last
what
few
the fuck?
seasons and chapters. You can
wanna
literally just
ruin,
look up
like,
and say,
the-
I don't
some
think they're too
people
confident
in their
up there.
prime,
Let's just
like,
dash our way up and we're on height. So I think now we're going to see
That's
teams like
crazy,
Cami and Seti that
honestly.
have taken height in the past, previously known as a low ground team, then sort of evolve their play style to
It's just
take height
dumb.
when they need to. They're
Like,
very
you
structured
give
at
up
that. They're
your-
very,
the
very good at
best
it. They know
POI
how to
in the
get to that
entire
front
map,
zone
bro,
and then make
just
sure
because
they
you
can
wanna
claim
con
height.
Clicks
So
and Vino.
it's
Clicks.
not necessarily you're going to be a high ground team or a low ground team. For some of these teams like Cami and Seti, they have it all.
Yeah, and then speaking of teams that like to take height, Clicks and Veno. Clicks, when he was playing with Epic Whale and
Veno
or
good,
Epic
bro?
Whale, he
Why
was
is he,
taking
like-
high ground way too early, around zone 9, and then on
why-
constantly
why-
getting chopped out. But joined by Veno, who has reined him
I don't
in
know.
just a little bit. They did
There's
such a
Cooper, I
good job
think.
during
No,
Major
that's
3
Batman Booga,
controlling
bro.
high ground, especially in day
Cooper
1.
and Batman Booga
Okay,
look like
yeah,
kind of
let's circle
similar.
back. Clicks and Vino. Let's take a
Alex
moment,
and
right?
Burby.
Let's give them a moment to kind of talk about this duo.
I don't know.
How are
I
they-
don't
you
know
touched
how
on it a
good they're
little
gonna
bit. Can you
do.
maybe break down just a
They
little
might
bit
get, like,
more
a
for
top
me?
20
What has Veno
or maybe
brought
even
to
a
Clicks,
top
right?
10.
We've seen Clicks kind of pair
But,
up with a few
like,
different duos,
oh,
and then
I don't
obviously
know.
we had Queasy and Veno for so long.
Luga's somewhere.
And then you suddenly like, okay, wait, Veno, you're leaving EU to go compete on NA. You're already used to competing in EU, and now we're gonna change all of that up, and you're gonna go play with someone like Clicks? Are you crazy?
It's honestly, we've already talked about it, how well paired it is. It's honestly
No.
looking almost like
No,
a
it's on
trio
my
competition
stream.
where you have the IGL, and you
0
have the Fragger,
viewers
and then you
up
have the support player.
Yep.
But you just mesh IGL and Fragger together, and that's
No.
Veno. And Click
Yeah.
plays
He's not
the
on it.
perfect support.
I'm just,
Watching them
like,
play
talking
in
to
Major 3 was
my
like
0
watching a
viewers.
dance. Constantly in Veno's
I'm
shadow.
talking about,
Clicks was
like,
ready to
who's gonna
prepare
win.
for him. And
It's
watching
either
some of
Clicks
these
and
plays that
Veno.
they made in the end game, when Clicks would shoot towards the box, the
hold
team
on.
would get distracted in
It's
one
either gonna
direction,
be Clicks and
then Veno
Vino,
would quickly rotate
Peterbot
into
and
the back
Poyo,
and 1v2
or
them.
Vico and
It was
Flixie.
so
Vico and Flixie
exciting
just
to
have
watch them
so,
play. They had their strategy
like,
down
such
to a pat,
good
but
frickin',
even when a wrench was thrown into that, they were
like,
able to
mechs
evolve, they were able
fighting
to
and
adjust.
stuff-
And I think
and stuff.
even though they might potentially be contested here today, I don't think that's going to throw them off their game too much.
Yeah, well, remember, Major number 3, their debut season, they were looking strong to win the entire Major.
Yeah.
I think it was the last 3 games where things didn't quite go too well for them. I think for Veno, he didn't have a very good start in terms of EU's performance with Tayson. He of course played Major 1 and Major 2 with Tayson. You imagine this is like a Titan duo. I mean, you can see on the screen right
Everyone's
now. He is
so
ready
like
and raring
anxious
to go.
at land.
He's been in this situation before, but as I was saying, he was playing
like
with Tayson.
just
didn't
meditating
quite work
there,
out.
bro.
He was looking at other options in EU and thought, well, not really any players that sort of suit me here. This is not, I don't want to be going to Major 3
win
not
this, bro.
100% comfortable, and I think that's why we saw him move over to NA, and as I mentioned earlier, Clix is just the perfect teammate. At the beginning of their sort of journey together, things were a little bit rough.
It's 100 people, but 50 teams.
But you could tell that things weren't quite on the same page. But now that when you watch them in endgame, the way they play through these tasks, the way they're hip to hip, as you mentioned, making little strategies, little plays in endgame, it's so good to watch, and they're a really exciting team in endgame. When they're playing those mid-ground layers, it's so good.
We also have to give a shout out to their coach. Blood X has just done such a good job making sure that they are ready to go, making sure that they are focused, because they are pretty emotional players. When they start getting hype, they are on a tear, and then once they start going down, it's a little rough for them, but they have been able to work on that, evolve from that. And personally, I saw a lot of growth from Clix during Major 3, where Vena was down, he was feeling out, and Clix just kept building it up, saying, no, we got this, we're doing great. And Vena would kind of turn around a little bit and start smiling on stream, and you know Clix is locked in when he turns off his face cam and comms, and that's what we were seeing in the Cash Cup. You know that when he is starting to take away from his stream, that he is serious.
So true, bro.
That's right. I love this breakdown from you guys.
When he doesn't care about his stream, he
to
turns off his face cam and his comms. So then it's like,
thoughts on the competition. Adam, it's crazy. I'm hyped. Are you?
Just chill.
I'm incredibly hyped. I mean, I've watched you guys do the walkouts. I mean, the players seem unbelievably up for this. I mean, the last couple of days, for you guys who don't know this, behind the scenes here, the players who have been in the player lounge this entire time have been obviously scrimming, getting together, competing against each other, and kind of testing the waters of what's going to be this incredible competition with 12 games over 2 days here. Personally, kind of sitting back and actually chatting to the players. It's a rare thing you get to do here at these in-person events. Obviously, you see them online all the time competing, and we kind of see their names on screen. But actually meeting them in the flesh and having kind of conversations about like life in general, how things are, how they got to this place, is always really interesting to me. Kind of the aspirations of kind of what they hope to achieve here in the next season and the partnerships, and you get a real sense of the energy and the kind of like the relationship that the players have in their duos as well here, which is really exciting. Also really cool, which is happens in the player lounge here, you get to meet a lot of the family around the kind of players as well here. That players from all over the world. You get to see their kind of their friends, their kind of like their closest, who come to embrace this amazing experience. Obviously the audience, who I love you guys already, like we've mentioned for 5 minutes, and you're brilliant. The energy in that room is incredible, but to actually meet the kind of people in their personal lives as well has been really special, and something really kind of I always like love learning about backstories and stuff as well here. But actually here in the player lounge, they were here till quite late last night. Everyone's kind of grinding, kind of making the most of their time they actually have here to kind of practice ahead of what's going to be 12 games, 6 games today, 6 games tomorrow. Don't forget as well, I'm sure that tonight after the first 6 games, there's VOD reviewing, going back and looking and seeing exactly how they can perfect their game going into that second day where things are really going to count, courtesy of the elimination points and of course those standing points as well. For now, I'm going to hand back to you guys. I'm going to kind of remain kind of cool, fresh, and calm back here. It's very quiet right now, and there's lots and lots and lots for me to do, courtesy of some basketball, some fun stuff behind me.
Did you say basketball? I'll be right there. Actually, I'll be there in a little bit. Guys, as we continue to talk, I wanted to highlight another duo. Just throw out. I'll go ahead and say this is probably my personal favorite duo. It's Paper. Victor V. I mean, come on. We saw these guys compete, and Victor V, I feel like University's won over everyone, right? To come out, to be paired up with someone like Paper. Just kind of take him under his wing and then say like, okay, Victor V, oh wow, you're just eliminating everything. You're going absolutely crazy. Sounds good.
You know, how I was kind of referencing them in Major 3, I was like,
pretty young.
This long-standing veteran, Victor V, the new blood. And then
you have to be at least 13 to go to
competing for quite a while at such a young age, and to perform at the level that he has is so impressive. And I mentioned one coach, I gotta mention another. Victor V's dad. What an incredible coach. That little video that they released before the Global Championships, I am absolutely in love with this whole team of Paper and Victor V.
Yeah, they're like the brotherly duo, aren't they? Even when they were doing the walkout, sort of hopping over each other. Great. That's so cool. I love them. I'm anxious to see how they're going to do. Of course, they seem to be uncontested most towards that central area of the map. Interested to see what happens there. And I was speaking to Victor the other day after their media day. I said, oh, how was the media day?
Paper and Victor V, they're good, but they're not winning.
I was kind of a bit nervous. I was like, you more nervous for that in the game? And he said, yeah, I'm more nervous for the media day questions and stuff than the actual game itself. So he's looking confident, feeling confident as well. And I like the dynamic they have with each other. That helps so much, especially for someone like Victor, who is young, you know, he's new to this sort of in-person
should I
event.
switch to?
It's just gonna help settle the
Should I
nerves
switch
so
to
much.
the
Yeah, you know, there's
to
kind of this
Ozzy's
dialogue of how a lot of these
stream? Or
duos, a lot of
to
these players,
Rusty
when they
Hub
do
stream,
break
or
up,
should I
they
stay
kind
on
of tend
this?
to pick someone that's already been established, a veteran. And the question is, why are they picking these
Because
kind of
Ozzy and
why are they
Rusty
picking
Hub,
these,
they're like
young,
way more
dynamic
entertaining
teams that
than
can really
just this.
evolve, especially if you have a very established IGL. And that's exactly what Paper did. He knew, he already read the strategy book, and picking
I'm
up
gonna try
Victor
it.
V.
Hold on. There's Globals. Power. LBT. Rusty Hub, okay.
Kind of like mixing
When's
regions.
first
It's not
game?
even just like, hey, which
I think it was.
one's best. No.
No
It's just who's got
way!
the title and who doesn't.
Hey, and I think when you talk about regions too,
Hold up.
what's so exciting is that when
Hold
these
up.
smaller regions really do pop up.
Oh my god, we got a shiny Bersian! What is this RNG, bro?
Are we gonna have one of these
I don't know
smaller
what he's
regions
playing.
really showing up? the
Boys,
rest of
what
it?
is this RNG
Yeah, I
here?
mean, for me, that was King and Phaser.
What
thought
the
these guys
fuck?
are going to be the best of those smaller regions.
I have 2 DSs, so I was dual hunting. I've managed to find 2 shinies in the last, like...
Seem to know how to
What is
play
wrong
in
with
those
you?
regions
Bro.
as well as we already know.
I need to stream all of this, because apparently all I'm getting is good luck now.
Tested by one of our teams, so they already
Oh,
have a
damn.
really good drop spot. I'm intrigued as to how that drop
Favorite
spot
Pokemon, Black and White,
is
let's
gonna
go.
Because I don't think they
Bro,
necessarily
I gotta keep doing this every day, apparently.
I don't know.
And speaking of,
I didn't get in the...
I don't know, because he's a good...
It's just wild. I mean, once again, how many you prove it?
an adapter, that one team to take away that one win from them in
That's
Major
right.
2.
Yeah.
So another incredible duo here
I'm
that
just
might be
waiting for
showing
it
up,
to
although
start.
they are contested as well.
Yeah, they are. They're sort of like that mini Olympus area, just the north side of that. I'm intrigued about what they're going to do there. Whether one of those teams decides if they do win off spawn, maybe they go towards that north side of that Grand Glacier area. If the fight does take a little bit longer, maybe that could be a good
Maybe I
opportunity to get
can,
some
but-
Storm Surge as well. Even those static launch pads that are nearby as well, they can get up on that hill, base up a little bit as well. So they have so many different options at their disposal. And I mean, Cal Gamer and his teammate as well. What a duo to talk about, because I love the way that Cal Gamer carries himself. Right, he's one of those players who's just like, he's so cool. Like he never shows any nerves, and you can see why. He is so good on Middle East. I believe he's got the highest amount of damage this entire chapter as well. So
My
he
dad
is one of
took
those
the-
players that can perform on LAN.
Here, wait,
It's
let me check
all
my
about
stream. I wanna
what
see
that
if,
off-spawn situation is going to do, because we saw it at the last Global Championships, contested in both the upper and the lower bracket, and they didn't make it to the grand final. So I'm hoping now they can hopefully fix a few of those off-spawn mistakes.
Alright.
Okay, I want to circle back here. Booga.
Who do you think is gonna win
Alright,
globals?
let's talk about this guy, Fred. No, but yeah, you guys can cheer. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, Booga. I mean, dude, you know, when we think about Fortnite, if you're someone who's
I
like
didn't ask
never
you.
heard of Fortnite at all, but
Maybe
someone
I'll
says
ask.
Booga, you're like, yeah, I know
You know,
that guy.
yeah, you know who
I know
Booga
Booga is, right? I want to see this guy win a global championship title. To just have like every single title imaginable, like. It just would cement him forever, right? He's already regarded as like this incredible
If you want,
player.
you can go now,
And when you have as many like accolades as him, like people would they would trade it all to even have like even half of those accolades.
And just how, just how strictly people look at Booga, where if he's not getting first, then he's getting last. I don't understand how the community could ever say like, oh, Booga's washed, he didn't win global championship.
I don't get it.
But then he gets the back-to-back wins between chapters 3 and 4, and then of course going for third place in Major 1 is 7th place in Majors 3, and they did split up in Major 2, but obviously they felt some kind of synergy. They understood that this was the duo to make their ticket into global championships.
Yeah, it didn't quite work out when they split duos. They
Just
forced
create
them
it,
back
bro.
together, and that's really difficult
What
to
the
do. When you're a
fuck?
team that has had a little bit of
How do you
success
have
before,
that?
splits up, come back
Let's get
together,
attacking, bro.
all the vibe's
No
gonna
way.
be right there, right? It's like, hang on a
just
second, you
watched
got me,
my
now
wall
you're coming
turn
back
into
to us if
this.
we can play. So
Or I'm
it's
just
nice
that
to see them
ass.
still performing well. I genuinely think this is a really good chance that they're getting a top 5, maybe even the win, depending on how the weekend goes.
that's me,
because
man.
their situation seems to just work out really nicely for them. I mentioned it earlier, they can go towards that east side, towards that
Oh my
castle.
God, I swear,
Lots of
guys.
different teams, even to the
Good.
north of the castle as well, that are going to be landing there.
Alright,
So
cool.
interesting to see how they can sort of manage those early storm surge damage. And even if they do get a little bit of their loot stolen from that gas station to the south of their drop, I still don't think they're going to be in trouble. I still think this is a team that can pull it out of the bag. Much like Acorn and Cole, when it comes to the end game, they're still going to be looking to stack because they can find those eliminations.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
Booga and
I don't really care, I'm just
IGL,
focusing
and then
on stream.
Aviv grabbing all of those eliminations.
I
as
saw
well,
we
and the
Charles.
loot, like you were talking about, The loot that they walk out of that POI is absolutely ridiculous. They are stacked by Zone 2, and no one wants to face them. Although, a cute little caveat for the moments that we got to see in the Cash Cups, where we saw Peter Von Poy, Bugha and Aviv were currently in first place after game number 5, and the reason was Cash Cups. But Peter Von Poy, you know that they want that win, the win before the Global Championships. And so, they literally left the forecast tower, the only time that Clifton Minnow got that forecast tower, and wanted to chase Bugha and Aviv. And Bugha and Aviv saw the token, saw that little glowing around them. They knew that that was where the point was, and ran away. But again, it worked out in their favor because Bugha and Aviv came out on top.
Just crazy stuff, man. I am so hyped to start the competition. It is almost that time. Acorn and Poldo, we have to mention these guys, right? We got a little taste of these duos, and I mean, we can't forget as well, Cold also walked away at EWC with a win, right, alongside Ritual. So he's already got this confidence in him. You've got Acorn right there, ready to go. I mean, you think these guys could go there? Could they make that?
Oh man, like I stole the free car so hard.
So, before Major One, before they won, we asked the question,
and I just
you know, as a fun little thing, who do we think is going to win the Global Championships? And I said Acorn and Cold way back when. I mean, after their run that they had last year, it was absolutely phenomenal. Getting 7th place in the Global Championships in 2023 just solidified their spot as two of the GOATs of Fortnite. And then they do it again, winning Major One once again this year. They just the way that they synergize together, the ideally, the fragging is perfection.
Yeah, it is. I think it's all about that off-spawn battle for me down there. Bruiser Beachhead and Alex and Sato. These guys are not a bad team in any regard.
Oh my
I mean,
God,
they're here, so that says it all.
I
mean, Alex being around the block, being a very, very experienced player over on EU. Sato more of an upcoming player, and he is really, really good as well. He's one of those players that relies on some up-and-coming talent in the EU scene. And I think this is a team that, yeah, they're probably going to try and play a little bit slower off-spawn. They're not necessarily going to try and finish the fight too quickly. As I mentioned earlier, they might try and dip on out. Not too sure how splittable Brutal Beachhead is, so if both teams decide to try and stay, there might be a little bit of engagement there, but I think both teams would be more than happy to kind of just do it.
I think you're right. I think Sato's going to grab a few chests.
Okay, all right. I like it. We just got word. We're going to check out the Creator Lounge. We got a little interview lined up with Blake and Somerset.
I told you guys earlier the Creator Lounge was all about getting in
Blake and Somerset are doing? Bro, what the fuck?
And we're joined by the awesome Somerset and the awesome Blake. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
I know.
First and foremost, how's the event so far?
Like, she's a good player, but like, oh no, she's not. I don't think she's playing it. I was like, look, what the
We walked in, we were literally getting swarmed, taking pictures for like an hour, trying to find this Creator Lounge. But I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited just to see that.
Like, I got asked, you have a lot of experience playing in competitive. You've played against a lot of the players on that stage. Who are you looking at thinking, this is the best player in the tournament right now, these are the teams to beat?
I mean, obviously we got to look at Peter Von and Koyo. You know, they won back-to-back FNCSs. They're coming off into this event looking like they're the favorites to win. But, you know, there's 4 teams at their POI. Another team I want to look at is Clix and Vino. But they're being surprise caused by some OCE team. So we got to see how it plays out. But I'm excited.
The OCE team actually decided, bro.
Coming up, right? Big competition on the horizon. How are you feeling for that?
Crazy.
Stressed, happy, sad, everything, mix of emotions, but, you know.
Awesome to get that insight, though, from a competitor's standpoint, because you got all those competitors out on the stage.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the venue so far, people packing in, you yourself even, remember back when you used to play a lot and get nervous about, just how many fans are there waiting for you? Like, how does the nerves factor in when you're up there on that stage?
I mean, I feel like most of these pros on this stage are experienced, and I don't think the nerves are really affecting them. And for the new timers, like the one-time land qualifiers, like they're gonna feel game one dropping in.
Bro,
once
what
they
the
land
fuck?
on that
I'm
map,
gonna.
they're gonna be good. The nerves are gone. They're locked in. They're ready to win.
And obviously you both are just awesome content creators. Any
unadopt.
content going to be coming from you guys from the event, and if so, let everybody know where you guys can, or where they can check out.
Be so.
Somerset with an O, know you, but anywhere on any symbol.
Yep. We'll be doing a meet and greet in the main lobby at 1:30 p.m. Central Time. I'll be IRL streaming it at twitch.tv/Blake.
Awesome stuff there, guys. Thank you guys for joining us, and for now, we got more coming your guys' way.
It is, bro. Man, what the fuck? Like, why is that real? Oh! I think FNCS Globals is starting in 10 minutes. Let's go, boys. Hype up Clicks and Vino in the chat to my 0 viewers, bro. Hype them up. They're crazy, bro. Right, I'm crazy. Yep, I qualified too. I'm gonna win this shit. I'm just kidding. I did. I wish I did. Oh my god, I just hit a crazy shot on this kid. Okay, so retard on me. 1, 2, 3, let's get Rizzy. I know this kid likes Jerby. Who is it? Who is it? Boom. Bro, what? This kid is crazy. Bro, I tried doing a live sub count and it just wouldn't work. Oh my god, I thought I was dead there. Fuck. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, she is. She came home like yesterday, actually. He's getting third party, bro. You know, sometimes you love Fortnite. This is one of those times. It's not, but yeah, we love that. Like, my visual audio actually sucks so bad. Bro, this music is so ass. Hold on. Oh man. Yes! I got the refresh, let's go. Now I can actually fight this kid. Hey kid, I knew you were gonna keep me. You're not hiding nothing. Swear to God, I was dead there. I'm just him. Alright, now I'm gonna turn this music off. It's so boring. Oh shit, bro. Yo, if anyone comes into the chat, can you please chat that it started? Because I'm not really focusing on when it's gonna start. No, not you. If anyone joins the chat. Because I've turned the music off. I turned the sound off just for now because it was annoying. Oh my god, bro. Item 161. Oh my god. Gosh, bro. Did I delay or something? Like, bro. Like, why am I low-key getting delay? Well, my MS is 47, but whenever I use this one software called Gear Up, which is like, it like optimizes my ping, then it turns like way lower. Well, my ping turns way lower, not my MS. I knew that kid was gonna do something. Holy shit! That scared me. Oh my god. Oh! Oh yes, it's back.
So the most consistent duo this year, I mean, it's obvious.
Best duo in the world right now. I mean, placements speak for themselves.
They got second Major 1, first Major 2, first Major 3.
And they won like a lot of duo cash cups, so.
Well, the first season in general, they were dominating.
Now they're looking really strong.
I don't think anyone put them that crazy.
Like 100% the most dominating team of everyone.
I mean, there's no one else more consistent than us, I would say.
I'm not sure that it will surprise anyone, but I'm pretty sure that Kami and Saitsu will do good.
Let's go, Clix and Vino! You
They
win
kind of
this.
just have everything scripted. They have the entire
I don't know
game
who
scripted
wins.
how they're gonna play it. They're always
Who the
one step
fuck
ahead of
wins?
everybody.
I'll say Epic Whale and Moz impressed me with their performance.
Epic Whale
We just
and
stopped
Moz.
playing with them last season to
That just
Venom.
did not
And I was really hoping he falls for Global, so them getting, I think, 7th it was impressive for me.
And then another team which is like also pretty underrated still is Batman Booga and Rapid.
I think they're also kind of underrated.
I just think they match really well together, and like they know how to play the meta. They're good like fighters and all that.
Rapid's a super smart guy. They've been doing really well these last 2 seasons, and they've kind of proven to everyone they're like as good as the rest of us.
They're on a come up this year. They're doing good. I think they can sneak in a top 3 here if they play their best.
So one person that I've been watching to like that I would really love to incorporate some of their game into my own is Seti and Cammy as a duo. Actually, every single land they come to, they come from more prepared than anyone. They have more strats up their sleeve.
They just create new strategy and new metas on their own. Basically, everyone watches their games to see like what they're doing, and then they can learn from what they do to implement it into their own game.
I say probably Acorn and Cold. I think Acorn has a really good understanding of the play style that I try to play as well. I think we both
They might
kinda
get a
do the
top
same
10.
thing.
I want to see how he thinks about some situations.
They
And
ain't winning
Cold, I
though.
mean, he's just a
No
good
way.
fighter.
If I want to do and do good, that's not us. Probably be Kanata and Cooper.
I just talked
good
about
friends with
them.
him.
I think that they're
really
gonna
big
get like a
shot.
top 10
I think
maybe.
Suzy
Like,
and
they're
Yapko,
gonna.
because Suzy can play with his duo.
Yeah,
Also last
definitely
year,
not a
he
win
couldn't
though.
play on LAN
I doubt a
with
win.
Nurse
It's either
because his
Peter and
mid players.
Poyo, Flix and Vino, or Vigo and Flixie. I know I've said that like 3 times, but like still.
I want Clay to get a top 3 for the first time in his career.
I would want them in these teams to do good.
Yeah, for me it's probably Reason with DA, Janus Pixie, like all the damage basically.
Honestly, all the OC boys, I hope they do good.
100%. All my friends, you know, Kanata, Paper, I've been helping them out on the side. Just trying to see them do good. You know, when I thrive, all my boys will thrive too type thing. So this is how it be.
Bro, are you serious? They fucking. Oh. No. They did another timer though. It's annoying. You see an item shop. He overeaten Hush, bro. Wow. Well, that's crazy. Fuck. Flip this good. Cap. Obviously, just go joking. I'm gonna get clipped myself. This kid AFK? Bro. Oh, hell nah, bro. This kid AFK? Oh, never mind. Oh my god, I just sold that. Kid, why are you peeing? did I just win that? From him, bro. Why did my gun not shoot? Literally like 3 HP, you dick, bro. Up, and I just sold. Shit on. Got a cone. Oh, I'm jumping in on this kid. Dead? Bro, why is my code not placing, bro? Like, Fortnite, I'll let you suck my dick if you don't. If you don't sell me here, Fortnite, then I'll let you suck my dick. How did I? Okay, thank you, Fortnite. Oh my god, I almost sold there. Bro, he's so pissed. Alright. I think we're chilling. Let's go, brothers. What the fuck is this? Excuse me. Are they finna start? Like, what the fuck? Whoa! What the Sigma Brothers? What the fuck? What am I playing right now, bro? Alright, well, I guess we're watching this. Oh, it's a Rocket League thing. Wait, what the fuck? What is this? Bro, what? Like, oh, interesting. Oh, wow. I don't know how to do this. my god, bro. This shit is so boring. Like, nah. Okay. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm gonna be back, bro. Sorry, just waiting for this timer to go down a bit. There'll be teachers when they have to pause something. Where's the pause button? So annoying. Bro, what is this? 28 minutes! Bro. Oh, hell no! What the f- What is this, bro? Alright, I guess we're AFK for 28 fucking minutes. Alright, no, I'm gonna actually be right back, because, I don't know, I'll just, like, come back when this thing is done.
On the floor, this is not a ball. I'm above it all. Start, I see my glow right where you supposed to go. Proceed on the low, can't lose a find to go. Leave me in the zone, I take your mind and then I snatch your soul. Turn up the track, going deep, I'm in the zone. You know I'm about to go, harder than hard to go. When the lights shine bright, that's my show. Burn up and see the glow, I'm gonna make it. No, I get it, they love my whole aesthetic. Vegas don't listen, told you this ain't hypothetical. Answer the call, prove this once and for all. Can't reach me with an arrow, summer nights I never fall. No cattle, you go nowhere saddle. Go riders up my body, cut them off, they yanking sloppy. Already, I consume the pay. The vision's 2020, believe you On the floor, this is not a ball. I'm above it all. Start, I see my glow. Where you supposed to go? Proceed on the low, can't lose and find it go. Leave me in the zone, I take your mind and then I snatch your soul. Turn up the track, going deep, I'm in the zone. You know I'm about to go, harder than hard to go. When the lights shine bright, that's my show. Turn up and see the glow, I'm gonna make it. No, I get it, they love my whole aesthetic. They got so listen, told you this ain't hypothetical. Answer the call, prove this once and for all. Can't reach me with an arrow, summer nights I never fall. No cattle, you go nowhere and saddle. Go riders up my body, cut them off, they yanking sloppy. Already, I consume the pay. The vision's 2020, believe you Already, I consume the pay. The vision's 2020, believe you On the floor, this is not a ball. I'm above it all. Start, I see my glow right where you supposed to go. Proceed on the low, can't lose it, find it go. Leave me in the zone, I take your mind and then I snatch your soul. Turn up the track, going deep, I'm in the zone. You know I'm about to go, harder than hard to go. When the lights shine bright, that's my show. Burn up and see the glow, I'm gonna make it. No, I get it, they love my whole aesthetic. Big ops don't listen, told you this ain't hypothetical. Answer the call, prove this once and for all. Can't reach me with an arrow, summer nights I never fall. No cattle, you go nowhere inside them. Go riders up my body, cut them off, they yanking sloppy. Already, I consume the petty. The vision's 2020, believe your eyes, lit it. Turn up the track, going deep, I'm in the zone. You know I'm about to go, harder than hard to go. When the lights shine bright, that's my show. Burn up and see the glow, I'm gonna make it. No, it's a rap, got the match built like a pro. You know the legends go, harder than this audio. When the lights shine bright, that's my show. Burn up and see the glow, I'm gonna make it. Turn up the track, going deep, I'm in the zone. You know I'm about to
Yo, what? It's about to start. Let's go. Let's go, Skippy. Let's go, Skippy. Oh. Hold on. Nope. Close. No one really. Hey, Larry. No, man. He's my old duo. I don't want to play with him. But whatever. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fortnite, don't scam us this time. No more game.
Everybody, thank you so much for your patience. We really do appreciate it. After some technical difficulties appeared on stage, we resolved those issues, and now we'll be working to get our players back on stage and get into the action. So we look forward to seeing that with you. At the end of the day, we're here to see some Fortnite, and that's what we're going to see. As we prepare, though, as the players start to come in and whatnot, we're going to take a couple moments just to highlight just a few duos. Wanted to highlight here Reason and Vidil, a duo that we are very excited to see compete on stage. There's some Reason fans out there.
Yeah, Peterbot not doing good
There's a lot of
I mean, there's a reason to like Reason when you look at the run that they had this year, getting 7th, 4th, and 5th from majors 1, 2, and 3 respectively.
So,
I mean, it's crazy talking about the consistency
I don't like
that all
Peterbot
these
because
duos
he
have
has an
brought
ego,
here today, and to see them competing together. I am so excited to watch Reason and Vidil.
Yeah, really interested to see how these guys can do. Of course, they're landing at the Dooms Castle towards the northeast side of the map. They have a couple of teams there as well, so they're not going to be uncontested there. But this is a team throughout the whole year have performed really well. As you mentioned it, Kelly, they had a really nice year with a 7th, 4th, and a 6th. Really, really consistent placements, and they're able just to find really solid games when it matters. They're able to get into that situation of endgame, finding eliminations. It just seems like whenever you look at the leaderboard at the end of a tournament, it's like, oh yeah, Reason and Vidil, they're in 5th. How did they get there? We haven't really seen too much of them, but they sneak their way up, and I hope they can do that this weekend.
And you talk about them being contested, although the north side of Doom Castle, they're not necessarily contested.
Yeah.
They kind of have that north side to themselves. They're going to have that siphon point to themselves. They do have 2 sets of duos that are contesting the south and to the north, which honestly sounds like the perfect storm for them to third-party these other duos, especially that duo that's landing north of them, which there isn't much to go for there.
Yep,
I can imagine Reason and Vidil focusing that duo to get some of those storm search tags.
Yeah, and I mentioned it earlier as well, Booga coming in from that west side, they could have to deal with that situation as well. I mean, that drop spot is it's such a big drop spot, so many different little nooks and crannies where you can sort of hide and try and sneak around. I think we expect to see a little bit more of elongated fights happening there from teams that are coming on in, and I love that. This is the star of the show right here. This Peely, we've been looking at him. I love it. I love it. He's been doing some emotes randomly. I don't know if he's doing it for anyone or he just naturally does them. He's just pulling out emotes.
He's doing it for everyone.
He's doing it for everyone in the arena,
Peely right now. This Peely is giving us all the energy we have, and hopefully the energy to the players as well. As you can see, they are starting to come back into the stage, get onto their setups, and as we get ready to get into game number 1.
bro?
That's right. We are just so thankful for you guys, the fans. We really do appreciate your patience. We are sorry about that, but we'll be getting back into game very, very shortly. I want to also talk about Bryson Bolts. When the players came out and Bryson Bolts came out,
but like
they're
not
kind
winning.
of crazy, and it's a little unexpected because I don't want to say like, hey, there's duels here that don't have fans. It's just like
Peter and Boyle, unless they get unless one of the three teams landing on them starts like trying to keep them. But they probably won't because that's going to be a very bad idea to throw away the tournament. But
Major 2 they got 6th place, and Major
hopefully
3 they got 8th place.
Is I want Clicks and Venom to win. But Clicks and Vino, they are called by one OCD team.
Who knows where they would have been if they had all 12 games?
I remember last year Globals as well, Bryson Chubbs, they were a team that took us by surprise. They did
Damo and his duo are
I think they won a couple of games as well on the Grand Finals day. It was one of those where it's like, where did these guys come from? But that's what this global championship stage can do. It can put you on a little pedestal. It can be like, look at me, I am a professional, and I'm a very good professional player.
It's probably
at that.
Pete.
And I think that's what I look at when I look at this duo. This is
such a fucking ego, bro.
That experience of doing
Shut your
well.
bitch ass up. No one cares if we got 3 FNCS wins.
Particularly with their drop spot now.
No one cares if we really need that forecast so bad, bro.
Like, I try to not let them have it, but they're more running towards the forecast now. So we've seen some teams like Acing up on the hill trying to stop Vico and Flixie trying to come over.
Location with 70 chests, bro. You have a bunker, you have a forecast. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Stop being so, like, stop having such an ego, bro. Just because you got all that shit. It's annoying as hell.
Honestly, it's a bit
it's like no one cares.
And I understand why Bryson Bolts have been there all year long.
That's what we need, right? Is another fight for another forecast tower. The observers are going to just be in just a handful of spots across the map. Is there a forecast tower? Yes. We're going to go hang out there. Another duo here to highlight is Janus. It's Pixie, another EU duo. And of course, I mean, Janus. I mean, come on, fans of Fortnite, if you've watched, you've been following, you know this guy's incredible.
I mean, going all the way back to 2020, winning this solo invitational of Janus, and then Pixie having a great performance in the Globals last year with Cheatin'.
Yeah, really, really great. I mean, that was a duo where we're like another one of those teams where these guys just came out of nowhere. It seemed like they'd been performing well going up to that, but now Pixie was one of those players that was kind of a commodity, if you like, going into this this last major of the chapter, because he was performing very, very well. So many different players,
is Janus's duo, I think.
In EU, very veteran players as well. We're looking at Pixie thinking this could be potentially a good duo partner for me, an up-and-coming player, picked up now, of course, by Janus. Uncontested red line rig. Interested to see what they can do. I think this is another team where, yes, it says they're uncontested.
What does my
if you're one of those teams having an aspect, for example,
see, the chat's going crazy right now. We have so many messages. There's no one chatting, bro. No one even in my stream, bro.
This duo, they performed very, very well in Major number 3 where they got 8, so I'm interested to see what they can bring here.
You bring up the fact that, like, you know, they kind of look out and go, hey, this is an opportunity, but that was kind of what this year of Fortnite was, right? So much of the landscape changed after Global Championships last year, right?
Pixie and Janus.
Yeah, we're kind of going back to LAN, we're kind of doing things, but once we got there, it was like, okay, this is different, right? Like, now that we're here, next year has to be different. And so many of these duos just looked across the board and were like, maybe I should pick up that duo, I should pick up this duo. Like, it's been a crazy year.
I mean, I always say that there is only one thing you can predict in Fortnite, is that it is unpredictable, regardless of if that's the map changing, the meta changing, duos literally changing between qualifiers and semifinals. We really don't know what's going to happen until the games start.
And what I love about these global events is no matter what happened in all the majors, you know, as you mentioned, different messes, different teammates potentially, it all doesn't really matter, because this is where it all goes down. These next 12 games are going to be absolutely electric. And I can't wait to get into it.
That's right. We've got another dude here to talk about Epic Whale and Muzz.
Bro.
You kind of highlighted them at the start of the show there, Muzz being one of the first duos to kind of win in multiple regions, and Epic Whale, I mean, when we had NA West, when it was NA West and NA East,
that's great. Just skip the ad, bro.
He didn't know how to, like, stop winning.
Yeah, it's funny because I was literally just talking about how duos will split up between qualifiers and semifinals.
And
I was referencing Muzz and Epic Whale right there. They actually had different duos getting into the qualifiers, and then once we hit the semifinals,
Muzz and Epic, they're doing pretty good.
Switch duos.
But I don't know about winning.
There's a little caveat in the rules there, and obviously it worked out well in their favor, finally punching their ticket into the global championships. And beyond Epic Whale being, you know, the 5x, however many X's he has in his name, regardless of the back-to-back-to-back, regardless of the gamers, looking back all the way to the World Cup, where he got third place.
Muzz has some pretty cracked out
for so
pretty
long,
good.
And then of course
and
Muzz,
2
the
FNCS
powerhouse for OCE, now representing North America. This is definitely
Charles.
a duo to look out for.
I love watching Muzz play.
Epic Whale has 6
fucking player to watch. Some of the things that he can do, the mechanical ability of Muzz is second to none. And I was speaking to him the other day.
You know way you're calling Muzz fat, bro.
How's things with Epic Whale? He said, yeah, I'm absolutely confident in Epic Whale. It's all about me.
He's not.
I make sure that I'm going to play my best game.
Okay,
He's a little bit nervous that he might get awareness
checked. You want to
believe, bro? If I'm playing my game to the level I know I can play it at,
alright, bro.
I think he's
like,
feeling
just
like he's going to be successful. There's no
FNC.
reason why not.
I love that self-reflection, though. A lot of the times, these players will kind of look to outside sources as to what's going wrong. Oh, well, it was this duo that focused us. Oh, it was Greece over here. But players that can look inwardly and understand where they could have gone better, not necessarily what went wrong, but what they could have done differently. That's what makes or breaks these champions.
Yeah, that's a mark of maturity, right? For someone like Muzz, again, like you said, to win multiple times. That's how he got that far, right? To be able to stop and go, okay, now what could have I done better? Because it's very easy to point fingers and go, yeah, well, my duo or this thing or this pod or the POY or this thing got removed or whatever. But to stop and go, no, what can I do to really minimize that, like, almost RNG we experience?
Yeah, and there is definitely a level of RNG. Obviously, the most notorious is where is that zone going to pull? And if we have some teams landing on the south and the zone pulls to the north, well, how are we going to be able to handle that? What rotations are we going to be prioritizing? What teams can we potentially face against? Being able to it's what these Fortnite players are able to do with how much goes into it is honestly uncomparable even to some of the other bigger esports out there.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, you mentioned the zones, particularly now in the low to no mobility meta, particularly that sort of 8 zone, those later stage zones, maybe not in endgame, but it's those rotations where you have a maximum pull zone. It's those teams that have the forecast tower. It's those teams that have got their storm surge early. It's those teams that aren't trying to fight on the rotates. They're the teams that are going to try and put themselves in the best position and find the most success, but it's so difficult to do. It's so easy, it's so much easier said than done. Just be like, oh yeah, just go front side, go around teams, don't get shot, don't go into another team, don't box fight, but it's so difficult to do in practice because there's so many different things going on in your head. Oh, we need a bit of damage, let's hop in there. Maybe that's not the best decision to make. So the low mobility meta really shakes things up. I'm interested to see how the players can see how they do it.
It's like a no mobility meta, actually.
I love that balance, right? Kind of striking. Okay,
like they removed jetpacks from the tournament. I don't know why the fuck they did that, but interesting. Love Fortnite.
We have to go and we have to get our loot. What weapons are we doing? What's our
I think it just makes it boring, like, well, a little more boring for like the viewer too. So.
Surge is on. What tags are we getting? Oh no, someone's boxing us. It's all just so dynamic moment to moment.
And what's been so exciting
There's just too many good tactics, in my opinion.
From major to major, it's the same weapons in everyone's loadout. Yep. But this major, between the shotguns that we have, the ARs that we have, the pistols as well.
Yes.
There's a lot of variety, actually.
Yeah, there is lots of different loadouts. He spoke about Thomas HD early on with that mono pistol.
I don't know who's gonna win, bro. It's so
damage coming out of him
like
this weekend. There's just so many different varieties. Even the new shotguns, of course.
There's a few teams that I think will win, but like
have necessarily just one best shotgun,
I don't know.
one best assault rifle. Lots of ways to express yourself in the game. Are you more of a close box-to-box player? You like to play a little bit further away when you're taking fights, and that's what I'm interested to see a lot of our teams doing. How can they show their identity this weekend, applying themselves in the new strategy and the new season?
Do you guys feel that, like, in that moment to moment, right? So let's say we're gonna have this surge strategy. We're gonna need this loadout. Does that change moment to moment? Does that change zone to zone?
Yes, 100%. Obviously, you need those long-range tags. You're going to go for the ARs by having to get those storm surge tags, of course. But once you get closer, once you get to the end game, you're going to go fighting box to box. You want to make sure that you have your favorite shotgun. And really, depending on the player, you might see Sovereign, you might see the Gatekeeper, or you might see that Hammer Pump.
Yeah, or even those dual-wield SMGs. Those things are
3,000
crazy. I think a lot of teams, a lot of players will be looking to pick those up towards the later stage of the game when everyone's a little bit closer. You don't necessarily need that range of the assault rifles, of course.
Better be
it seems like the burst is the most common one for the players that are trying to get the storm
people
surge
are
tags. It's not quite as good in box, so expect to see a lot of teams trying to switch that up going into the late game.
Is there maybe a weapon or two, or an item, or anything that, you know, if these
I've never heard of that.
situations don't
Well,
happen,
I've never heard of that player.
You know what? Oh, guys,
I've heard of Nathan, which is their duo.
Getting word. It is that time. Once again, from the bottom of our hearts, we're so thankful for your patience. That's right. It's game time. Let's send
yes,
the forecasters for game number 1. When you see us, you want to see W's because we're ready. It looks like the game is just about to kick off here. Let's jump into map number 1.
Yes, sir, bro.
All right, Fort Worth, here we have it.
Weezy and Thomas HT is dropping down to their drop spot.
Global Championships, and of course, we know what is in store for us.
Already getting a close-up pay-per-view of what's taking place here with Queasy and Thomas. And you have to keep in mind,
they already got some shield.
Not too far from this location here at Research Rock. Brawler's Battleground, I think, providing a decent opportunity for a little bit of early clashing, potentially.
We'll talk about those early clashes. We already know what's going to happen here.
It's good, bro.
Versus the Powered Alex.
Not looking good for.
We're going to go to Carmine Corpse Mustache.
Yeah, not looking
good
for
Alex and Worthy. There by Mustache.
And they're good players.
Provide a lot of pressure as well, just enough for him to be able to group with Malabuka. They've already found a Flowberry Fizz. They're getting the shield online. Worthy and Alex,
I think Malabuka and Mustache are going to win this one off spawn. Only because, like,
yeah, this is not the only
they got
contested team, right? There are going to be other fights happening here. Play close attention to what's going to go down, though. Power Alex and Worthy do have a little bit of a disadvantage here, playing the low ground as the standoff starts to develop. Meanwhile, a quad contested drop spot for Peterbot and Boyo, who have control of their side, where Trashy and Brett seem to be in a little bit of a head-to-head.
Well, hold that thought, though, because for a moment it seemed as if we were going to be
Yapko
potentially dealing with Cassie aspect here, but I don't see them anywhere in sight. And I think right now, Swizzy, Yapko, they're just trying to do what they can to prevent themselves.
They don't really. Trashy doesn't have the best loot. I don't know about Threats.
Also keep in mind what Peterbot
Threats is pretty stacked. I mean, not on builds, but like, looking pretty good. Where's Peterbot and Poyer? Oh yeah, Peterbot and Poyer just got the boss.
Wow, so Peterbot and Boyo already off to a great start here. Clearly
they're already so stacked, bro. What the
respect of the team.
I just don't understand.
What the hell? Center foot into their location.
They are chilling
It's
right
only
now.
a matter of time, though. As soon as that reveal medallion actually procs, there's going to be 15 seconds that Swizzy, Yapko, Threats, Trashy, they're all going to be marked here at the raft. So escaping might not be the solution. They're going to have to fight their way out of this.
We've seen the interviews. We've seen, you know, Trashy and Threat's perspective on this. They already know that they're going to have a problem
Trashy
with
and
Swizzy
Swizzy are
and
fighting
Yapko,
right now.
and that Peterbot and Boyo will just
Swizzy
be
with
waiting
50 shield,
for
so
their
it's not looking too
opportunity
good.
as the time continues to tick
Probably,
on. You can see they're doing just
out of
that.
there.
Ready
Oh,
to
Trashy's
possibly pounce here in the
1
coming
HP.
moments, but Vino and Clix,
Let's
y'all,
go. Clix and
are
Vino,
here,
bro.
and they are indeed contested.
The moment these names lit up on screen, you can just hear the crowd
Freak that
going
OCE team,
crazy.
bro.
I mean, a clear fan favorite
Vino.
for good reason. And I think the most incredible part about it is just listening to Clix talk about the fact, hey, we
I
just
don't
found
know
out
if
a
they're
couple days
gonna
ago,
fight.
yeah, we are
Resigns
going
and
to be
Demo, they're pretty
contested.
good, but they're not
for
better than
Demo
Clix
and
and Vino, so.
Resigns, you have to also factor in this
What
is
are they
familiarity
doing, bro?
that
He's
Sandy
wasting
Steps has
mats.
been their home as well.
Yeah, and this is a lot of respect coming from both sides. Clix and Vino, of course, just feeling out the playing field right now, playing the outskirts, meaning that no team can, you know, rotate from behind them, whereas Resigns and Demo are content with their side of the map. But Middle Eastern teams are on the set here. Haman and Cal Gamer now up against the likes of CZB and Nathan, who's underneath them.
And CZB and Nathan, I think, definitely one of those teams that I think a lot of people would view as that potential underdog story. But the interesting aspect is knowing that they are going to be contested here at Grand Glacier. And what
Yeah.
we're seeing a lot of right now in the players that are
Being
just having
conned
these
in
small, mild
FNCS
interruptions
is
to
pretty
their
bad.
traditional loot paths. And
Oh,
what
what
the
the-
dominoes effect
bro.
that might have after the fact.
They're already
Also,
fighting.
Just look at how many players are alive.
Oh,
this
hell
is
no.
about as intense as it can get when there's this much money on the line, when you have this much time, right, to wait, sit, contemplate your strategy. What are you going to do when the call comes? You have to answer it. Chapentini here pushing the pressure, pushing the conversation right now. Adrian's not looking good for him. He's going to be the first to fall, and that's one NA team down.
Bit of a tragic start there for Rise and Agers, but their downfall is Teeny and Chaps Uprising. Bound to be super happy with the elimination damage they did just secure there. Surge tags are always going
yeah,
to be
very
so crucial. And in a lobby like this,
Luigi and
we know that we have
Thomas,
so
nice,
many
they're getting
heavy
some
power
surge.
hitter teams. That's going to be insane to think about. You have to connect on every single shot.
2 fizzes, that's pretty nice.
You
You got 4 armored balls, 100 builds. It looks pretty good
Count
for
on
him.
the teams there in the distance. I saw Gone
Another
and
fizz, big
Quanti
bots.
as well, still at
Dude,
Mount
there's
Olympus.
so much
We know that
loot
they
here.
have that drop spot, not for free, but again, that southern side is theirs at the moment. Queasy and Thomas HD are going to be happy with these tags, right? This is the bigger picture.
Yeah, they've got
of
some tags. They're
hyper
doing pretty good on
competitive
Surge.
Fortnite. It just doesn't get more difficult
Cammy
than
and
this.
Seti are. I think
Clearly,
they're
we have a
rotating
lot
into
to
red
talk
line,
about when
but
it
they're
comes
also
down to Cammy
fighting.
and
So.
Seti. This is a team that is a favorite.
Yeah,
and a
they're being
favorite
far
for a
now.
reason, as is
Let's
Vico and
go,
Flixie,
Vico.
some of Europe's strongest
Yes,
coming
sir.
up, and I dare to say part of the new
Vico
era.
is so good, bro.
Sparks already started to fly,
Oh,
though.
Virgo and
Vico
Shadow.
trying to see if he can get an
I
overhead
actually
view
watched their
onto
grand
Virgo
finals.
and
They did.
Shadow.
Oh my god, they did so good, bro.
Shadow, he's left too exposed. Vico, Flixie, they take
bro,
the
I
opportunity
think
to
they're gonna
try
go
to
down.
collapse.
Rip.
A nice connection, but same time,
Bro.
Shadow's still standing. Virgo knows it's time to bail. And they're gonna
I want
force
Vico and
themselves
Flixie
into a
to
disengage,
do
Flixie,
good,
he's
but
not
like,
interested in that. Flixie wants
I
more.
like Virgo
Oh
too.
yeah,
so.
this is a storybook
pretty
kind of
sick, man.
conversation right here. This is something that we
Come on, bro.
expected to happen. If you're gonna go up against the likes of Flixie and Vico's pathing,
No,
you just
man.
have to get out of the way or get ran down. And Virgo and Shadow are gonna
Flixie
be
got the evil.
another NA team to fall here to the hands of a European juggernaut. And you know, this is again, I have an inkling just to start for Flixie and Vico.
Hey, there's a big reason why these guys have Reckless Railways uncontested. You do not want to have to deal with some of those up-close and personal box fights early on, but Paper, Victor, V, they've also found themselves in a little bit of skirmish here. Clone.
Why are so many teams fighting,
Trying to
bro?
make sure, but they've got to be careful.
Ooh, Quanti and
Look at the
Hero.
step opportunity here.
I think
Clone
they're
and
gonna-
Quanti, absolute ninjas.
They're getting really close here. A lot of danger.
Pull out your
lurking
shotgun, bro.
nearby,
Come
and
on.
Brazil,
That burst ain't gonna do you
of
good, bro.
course, knows
If he
for
edits
what
out
they're
on you, then you
capable
got a
of when
shotgun,
it comes
bro.
down to jumping in and
Nice.
playing
Oh.
aggressive, and they do just that. But no,
Nice.
the ambush was unsuccessful. Paper. Oh, so
Ooh,
close.
Persa.
Escapes by the skin of his teeth. Talk about Brazilian teams.
Sneaking.
It's Persa and Ed. also on the prowl right now.
Everybody just crouch walking up to all of the commotion that this box fight is bringing just outside northwest side of Mount
Whoever
Olympus
wins this
here.
fight
And
is
the
going to
most
be
important
full
aspect, though,
stacked
you gotta respect
or going to
that
be full
180
shambles.
turnaround,
So,
goes up the middle wall, make sure to protect himself. But Persa, they now
I don't know. This first game is interesting.
It's going to be cut short. Victor V, Paper,
Excuse me.
all these teams starting to congest here, and a surge base on top to boot.
Here's what I'm thinking.
Girls,
I'm thinking
what the
Person
fuck are
Ed
you
are
doing?
recognizing we have to get in the fight. Like whether we want to or not,
interesting. Love
Storm
that.
Surge is going to become an issue. And if you're unfamiliar what that means, when there's a certain amount of players alive, the game is going to force you to fight
Low
other teams.
and
Damage will
I
start
didn't
to
see
rain
that.
in the
Holy
visual of
crap.
lightning bolts and take you out the game if you're
I
not
think
being
they're good. I don't
active.
know.
The real thorn in the side right now, though, for Victor V and Paper is it's evident that they
Victor V
want
and
to
Paper,
get
they're pretty
inside
stacked
of
right
that
now,
bunker.
actually.
Clone and Kremsu, though, they are doing everything in their power to
Popping
prevent
a big.
anyone else. They might find themselves trapped at the bottom of it for a
think-
time being.
yeah,
but keep
Paper
in
popping
mind,
a big.
teams do like to hold whenever they
Nice.
find duels inside of that bunker.
Quante and Gone also setting
Funk,
up, looking
bro.
back inwards. Trying to see what's going to happen here. Meanwhile, Victor V and Paper really
What is
wearing
this
the
fight, bro?
results of this drawn-out fight
Like,
on their loadout right here. You can see ammunition.
not
starting to
real,
run
bro.
low.
How is this
Builds
competitive?
Even shorter than that. It's only going to be
Like,
a matter
there's
of time
been
before
so
it starts
many
to go
teams just
super
sneaking
south.
up.
So if Paper and Victor V can't step up and finish this fight soon,
looking too
it's not
good.
going to be good.
Yeah, but at this point, they have to find closure.
Well,
There's no
24?
opportunity to retreat. You are
24
all in
again?
at this
Nice.
stage. They've invested
Cracked.
too much time, and they know
Bro
that
is
they
cooking,
need
bro.
more
Come on,
surge
Paper.
attack
Let's
damage
go.
as well. Clone Kremsu more than content to sit this one out, though. 'Cause the weapon
They got the
bunker is
bunker.
out,
Oh,
and
the
they're
reason
gonna
why
have
they
the
were all
advantage once
fighting
it
is the
opens.
bunker. I didn't
Yeah, they
realize
get to
that.
jump down there first. and
Oh,
of course,
shit.
secure the goods. There's going to be a lot of
I'm
loot
so
that's gonna be
goofy,
given out
bro.
to Clone here
Oh, there's
shortly, but
90
Paper and
players
Victor V
left still.
don't want that to
Pretty
happen. You
crazy.
can see how much more urgency, right, is put behind these shots now as they're trying to push in.
Clone Kremsu. The opening has arrived here, but Victor V and Paper,
are pretty.
they're still.
They're chilling.
I don't want to call it hesitant, but
Where's
definitely
Mustache?
wary
Is Mustache
of
dead?
what awaits them.
No, bro.
when
Mustache
they
is
try to catch
dead.
Clone and Kremsu exiting that
Bro.
bunker. Malabuka, Mustache, though, they've
Mustache
encountered
is
some
dead.
early difficulties here. it seems
Malabuka
like,
and
at Restored
Mustache, they're
Reels.
like
Last we checked
shams
in,
right now.
They were getting a couple of
Malabuka
tags
just
on
has
Alex and Worthy,
about
but
130 HP.
knowing that Malabuka is in that solo position, it's gonna be
Bring
tough to
Kanata,
make his
let's
way
go.
towards Reboot Band with
They
this
got the
much
full
traffic
cap.
around
Wait.
them.
Yeah,
Fortnite's
undoubtedly.
didn't
Look
even
at
spawn,
Kanata
my
and Cooper,
dumbass.
on the move right now. Trying to continue to
They have the
find their way
fight, so
not
they
only
can
to
get
the new zone, but
any.
play for this high
If
ground,
they
right?
need
Look for
surge tags, they get it
off in
here.
the distance and very different strategy.
There will
for
be a
Kanata
few
and
kids just
Cooper,
on dead
where we
side
see
just
a lot
sitting
of
there,
those
so
other duos looking to get box to box
Might
fight,
be a few
you know, very
people
close
that they could
quarters.
just
They're
smooth chop
keeping
them.
their distance almost exclusively now from other duos and other paths of duos.
Refarming
I
the
really
mats
love
like
this
that.
positional check, though, from Kanata and Cooper because they've taken over a hill just northwest of Restored Reels, and they know all those duos that are far west on the map,
Clicks
far
and
north,
Vino,
they're
let's
gonna have
go,
to rotate
bro.
through Cooper and Kanata.
Clicks and
They're
Vino just
Kanata
rotated
is
out through a
notorious
fight.
for setting up surge bases in positions where
They might get
you
a
have
surge tag.
ample opportunity to
Oh, they're
deal some
fighting.
damage to other teams.
Oh, look at this. This is the clash we all expected. Vino and Clicks versus Oceania's Damo there, who just rotated by. They're going to be the first to get a couple of tags and start to get the lead here. You have to be really careful. Vino and Clicks are going to recognize that if they stay in the storm, what's going to happen? Those other teams are going to have strong positions to give them even more of a problem later. But it seems like they want to continue to press the action here.
Wow. They're taking the risk to
Kind
be
of
either
get caught in the
shambles
mix here.
or stacked
Not sure
or
if
dead.
Clicks and Venom have spotted him out just yet, but the moment that he tries to break through, that's when Clicks
Yeah, I don't think that they're gonna die in this fight. But if you put Clicks and Vino in their prime against these two guys, then against Andalex and
Clicks and Venom were after.
Yeah, because Andalus and Sato were still here. They thought it was just a solo, but now they walk into
think that's how you
almost a
say it,
spider's
Sato.
web here. Sato and Andalus do have
Sato?
heals
Sato?
as well, so they
What
can
the
kind of
fuck?
sustain
How'd you
themselves
say
for
it?
quite some time, but I'm not sure how much Andalus
Oh,
has to
Cammy and
work
Seti
with.
are pulling up.
Meanwhile, the
I think they're
Goats of the
gonna get some
region,
surge tags.
The Kings of EU, the most consistent duo in the world when it comes to land
Clicks and Vino might have to
performances
pop
in the
the med kit
recent
here.
years are here.
Every view we
Oh, they already
pan
popped
over,
one?
it's like sharks
Well,
in
Clicks
the
did,
water
I think.
currently. The fact that Cammy and Seti have now decided to just
Cammy and Seti got some surge
but they
off of
recognize there's no real
Sato.
openings for us to chase
What?
this one just yet. let's prioritize our positioning.
Like Zeno clicks. Yeah. Oh, let's go. We got
down in no time. His first elimination.
Let's go, bro.
Vino's gonna be the first to claim it alongside Clix here for a big elimination, and that's gonna set themselves off in the right pace here. Still, pay attention on the other side.
I don't know who's
completely opposite situation now as we talked about them keeping
not
their
an
distance.
invisible
Brazier
fighter
gonna
right
step
now.
up to the plate. Let's see if they
Brady's
can hit this.
sitting up there.
Swing at that, but nothing just yet.
I don't know.
Something important to consider though, Visuals and Braves, this is our duo that came in at the final hour just last night. They discovered
I think Kanata and
they were
Cooper are
going to be
gonna
participating on the global
I don't know. I think they're gonna get stacked from
What's their
this,
prep time look
or
like
full
in
sham,
comparison to
or full
everyone else?
scans,
But more
unless like
importantly
Brady's,
still, Braids, he's trying to make sure that he brings the fight to
or
Cooper and
Visuals,
Kanata.
like
They're
just.
not willing to hold. A couple of armored walls already expended on both sides as well. Not
Oh
a skill
shit!
able
Wait,
to
he has like
find
no
the
wood,
shots that
but you can
matter, though.
refarm, so he's
And him
strong.
and Cooper doing a decent job at just trying to forcibly create space.
And this is not just any backup duo here. This is a team that is very much tenured and familiar with one another. They in fact have duo with each other throughout the year. So again, not your regular backup team. This is a very, very scary team to be fighting right now. And a huge opportunity like this is not going to be taken for granted. You can see the fact that they forced these great players to use their armored walls tells a lot.
Malibuca and Mustache. Oh, the shirt is not looking that good, but not that bad.
Effectively active now. Great place to be rotating through here at the Grim Gate.
That's
but
like.
I'm not too sure. Even after being picked up with Mustache is going to have a chance to really
Not
get
what
back
you would
into the
want to
swing of
have.
things as the Rift
Boyle
Islands
and
are
Peter
already
are
up,
probably
and we
going to get
already
some
know
nice surge
who's playing
here.
for it.
They're in a really good position.
And Poyo did not even wait a moment's notice.
They're taking over
As
this
soon as
game
Rift
pretty
Island
slowly,
spawned in,
but
these two were
they're
prepped
taking
and ready
over.
to go. Peterbot already taking advantage, putting some pressure on the teams that are just trying to rotate at the bottom of Rift Island. You know teams like to try and utilize some of those rifts along the bottom, but again, when you have a team like Peterbot and Poyo, and they're not the only ones
Trashy
lurking
and
either.
Threats, they're
Trashy
just-
and Threats as well, making
I don't
their
know.
presence known. But in mind, Poyo Peterbot, they've got that reveal medallion.
Yeah, they're going to be able to scout them out in just a couple of moments here. So Trashing and Threats will have a big problem here. The hold up King and Phaser talk about problems. They're pushing down into the EU duo. Now, there's something that we know about King is that he's not someone you want to face in a box fight. What he's managed to do all throughout this week is instill fear into every duo. He has challenged players in the practice rooms
Reveal and Reason.
back to back.
They're
It
doing
has
pretty
been
good.
the most successful.
They're in a fight right now, though,
You're
so.
mentioning that it's all about the solos, and this
What?
is a duos game here, MDL.
Oh, he was in the World
Trying
Cup,
to see if he can
and
get a
his,
little bit of
and his
revenge
name
damage
isn't
off the
Dragon.
Reason
I
or
think
the
it's an
deal,
org.
but currently,
His name is King.
Germans, they're the ones holding
Oh,
high,
his surge not looking
he's
too
gonna have
good.
to start burning through some of these small shield potions, and the real issue is
Against
once those
Surge.
shields crack, the
He's gonna have to get some tackle off of
more
the
than
deal,
close
and
enough to heal it.
I don't know if they
But
can do
also
it.
need the damage, so the
I
kick
mean-
is inevitable.
Yeah,
I mean,
both sides
King
are
is one of the best players on
extremely
Brazil,
aware that
but in the
this is a
world,
fight for
no.
Surge right now. And should King's team get a tag, the Surge is going to flip. They are the team quite literally above them. And it doesn't really get much closer than this. And this is the most
Probably
opportunistic
Reason
time for
and,
King
Vidal.
to take down a duo
They
here.
have the high ground. They
But
don't have
Reason,
surge.
there
to
it
do-
is.
Oh, now they do.
Opportunities start to shift here. Reason and Vidal
some
now.
surge, bro.
Pressure starts to loom on them.
Craziest
do
part
have
to
the
think about
medallion
too
and
is that they
pistols,
still
though, so
gotta
they're
watch
chilling.
their backs because Rift Island just lurking in the distance, slightly higher elevation than themselves. Peterbot Boyle, they were definitely trying
know.
to see if they could track down anybody for some additional
They just have height,
tags,
so they're chilling.
knocks, E-limbs,
King
ideally,
trying
but
to take the height.
one of these
Okay.
things has gotta get a go on here, and yeah, they can't afford to just sit idle. It's either fight or
No,
get
they're not. They
eliminated.
just
Here
they're
comes.
forced
I'm
to
seeing
fight
two
here.
shots in from both sides. Reason goes
King
for it
and
first. Gladiel on the
Just
other
King
side
and
doing an excellent
King
job.
really
and
needs
Trey
the
comes out. King's weak and
refresh,
he's
but he
gonna be
dies.
off the
Okay.
ball. Reason and
that?
Gladiel come out on top, and even then,
Like, why are we
it's
conning,
just
bro?
enough to stay alive for now.
No, he's really good.
Crazy,
He's
though, when you think about how
he's
many
like one of
teams are
the
getting
best
caught
on
inside
Brazil.
these
I
box
think
fights
he won
inside
Brazil
of the
FNCS.
storm itself. For Stash
Versus duo.
Malabuca, they're just on a recovery tour currently, and it's incredible to think
Oh,
that they're still
Malabuca and
156
Mustache, they're
above
pretty
that damage
shambles right
threshold,
now.
Despite that
Malabuca
hiccup
with
of Malabuca
minimal
having to make the reboot that
shield
way
and
in the
health.
first place. Waxen
It's
being
not
up,
looking the best.
they seem like they're primed, and interested potentially, but instead it's just going to be heading to the top of Rift Island. Malabuka might get faced up. He wants more damage.
He's a pro, so.
Does he know though? There is trashing and threats up here. Team Xset right now still lurking nearby. I'm very curious as to why they haven't gone yet. And we might just find out here soon if they end up opening the box and taking fire, but no, Malabuka takes flight first.
Maybe not.
And he's gonna get pretty far off. Will
Yeah,
it
he's
be
dead.
enough?
No,
Taco? It's not looking like the
GG's
math is
Malabuka.
gonna math here, as Malabuka's gonna be the first to fall. He tries to get as far as possible. Murstache will have to land on him and save him now.
The problem though is that we're looking at 2 tick zones currently. Monster, Murstache, he can try his best
I don't know how
effort.
big the storm
But I'm
is
sure
right
he
now,
might
but
need a
it's
similar
not
fate,
too
because
good.
even if he makes it into this next edge of zone, he's still gonna have to deal with all the
not
teams
looking
that
that
are
good.
already based up, situated, and ready to take advantage of the players that are
Vino and
straggling in.
Clicks, let's go.
Take a look at this refresh from
they're
Vino
actually
and
pretty
Clicks
stacked
now,
right now.
as they managed to find themselves a little bit of a cachet from some leftover action between
1v1
Casper and
lineups.
Prism. Prism now not being in this fight, and still you have OCE's Damo and Resigns almost on this warpath with them.
I'll 1v1.
Continuing to be
Clicks
that
and Vino are pretty
opponent
stacked right now.
side, if you
Clicks
will,
just with
for
minimal
lack of a
health.
better phrase, but
I think Clicks is
back
gonna
onto
need a
the
med
focus
kit here
Clicks
soon.
is looking for action
And
here. Those are his walls. It's
5
Acorn,
is
it's
not
cold
looking
on the
that
other
good.
side. A very
No rotation, really.
scary team to go
I mean,
against.
it's a no
In the
rotation
warm-up
meta right
games
now,
yesterday, in the
basically,
scrims, right, in our
so.
practice lobbies, they pulled off a incredible 16
Damo and Resigns, the
eliminations
team
just to
contesting
show the
them.
lobby what they're capable
Also,
of.
right near
Real
them. They might
issue
start fighting,
is
I
just
don't know.
knowing that for Clicks and
Murstache
Venom,
just
Clicks
made
needs
it
some
out. Oh
right
my
heals.
god.
And you're not going to get that at this stage unless you're able to take
Is
down
Malabuka
those
what?
successfully. Murstache and
An
Malabuka though,
old?
have pulled off a miracle
An
at
org?
this point.
Malabuka? He's
And
in
it
an
does
org.
seem, even
I don't
though
know
they're a
what
little worse
org.
for wear, they're
Well, I don't
bad
know
for
if
sure,
he's in an
but
org.
they're still
He's
kicking,
just
and that's all they
Malabuka
can
right
at this
now.
stage.
They do have big
So-
shields as well to work with. That headshot that he picks up right there is going to make a huge difference there as far as their survivability is concerned.
Oh, they're
Major
scams right now.
eliminations are happening though as we're covering
They're
the action here.
shambles.
One of those, it's Peterbot and Foyles.
Yep,
getting
Peterbot and
active here.
Foyles.
Down goes Cheeks from the high ground there.
They're losing.
And they are doing
ammo.
what we expected them. Very healthy, extremely material capped, and now picking up points. That's a runaway
Ooh, I like
train
Muzz and Epic's
potentially starting to
position.
take
They're
form.
just chilling on the hill. They can get some surge.
Meanwhile, other teams.
Well, I don't know if
like
they
Hurricane
need surge
Codex,
because I don't.
just trying to see if they can find an angle.
Yeah.
Rise under a little bit of duress here, but it's back
Clicks
to
and-
Clicks.
Clicks is
Venom
he's
trying
fine
to see if they can finagle
on
their
that,
way
but
out of this
he's gonna need a
awkward
med kit
position
pretty
they found
soon.
themselves in.
Both of
Boxed
them
up
do.
right next to Acorn and Cold,
And
but
actually, I don't like their
again,
positioning
Acorn
that
Cold,
much
they got
anymore.
decent amount of materials to work
Oh, and
with.
they get a.
More importantly, still though, I think that they are certainly willing to jump into
Tons
a
of
fight
players
if it calls
here.
for.
There's
Oh, yeah,
26
yesterday has
teams.
absolutely proven
Not
that
even half the
they
lobby
can
has
take on
been
any
eliminated.
team without a problem.
That's
Talk about
bad.
good teams that are still standing right now. Teams that we've been kind of following this story. Victor V and Paper. Paper a little worse for wear. Seems like a bad peak's going to go ahead and put him on the backside of this engagement here. And Vino facing the struggles
Probably
of
not.
taking a lot of
I
damage
don't
here
really
as well.
know.
Not being able to recover now as they don't have whites.
Still has a couple of flow berries, but again, will that really be enough? Queasy, Thomas HD, now starting to service.
Ooh, Epic
as
and
well.
Muzz, they're pretty stacked right now.
Ritual though, takes some big tags, left that
I
wall
don't-
open just a moment too long.
I don't think Ritual's chilling, but maybe. A little bit.
Gotta be dealing with.
Oh, Malibu, he is actually full shambles. And Murstache too. Murstache too. They're shams right now.
Advantage, so Malabuka's gonna look to try and see if he can find a more aggressive.
They're gonna need a
position
refresh
underneath.
on these kids
Meanwhile,
real quick,
Murstache, again,
and then they
just
might
trying
be
to
treated
take
to bugs.
from the storm, but it's
Oh,
too
and
little,
never
too
mind.
late. Just barely makes it in.
Murstache
At
down.
least
I don't
Malabuka
know
go
if
for
he
the
can
revive.
res.
You know, all
Maybe
things
he
considering,
can.
he'll have more HP
Maybe he
when he
can
stands
sneak
up
the
than he
res.
did when he went down, so it's not all too bad here, but
Wow, I
it is
did not
definitely time
stay
lost.
here.
The surge is active.
I did not think that they would stay alive in
Box
there.
they go. Back behind him is another duo as
Because
well.
they were
And if he
cons,
doesn't hit this
so.
shot, he's going to be sent back to the lobby, and he hits the one that matters. Malabuka and Murstache are
Yes,
clawing
they got
their
the
way
refresh.
out of this hole here, and unfortunately, it might not be enough here. It's so close.
Malabuka is doing everything in his power, but
Aw.
here they have finally met their
Unfortunate.
Zero business making it that far in the first place.
Where
But
are they
that
left
is the
alone?
kind of power that Malabuka and
Looks like
Mercedes
Alex
bring.
is down. Pico and Flixie, they are chilling right now. They have the freest storm shirt. They have 700 surge. They're chilling, bro. They're fucking chilling. 3 evens. Let's go.
Vino is down right now. Clix has a very important decision to make here. Do you save your best mate or let him get sent back to the lobby so you can just focus in now? Seems like he wants to go for the save. Armored Rolf going to be the saving grace here for a moment, though. Instead, Vino makes the call. Leave me. Continue to play the game here.
Venom knew there was just way too much pressure coming from the other side of that wall. The fully intact duo and that duo being Queasy and Thomas HD. There's just no realistic opportunity.
Lux doesn't have the best positioning. He might go down here, but still a pretty good game.
He might have been desperate at that point, and Clix finds himself in a similar situation.
He has...
Only has small shield to rely on 2 below.
He has none.
When it comes to the tennis threshold, he's got to make a move, and he's got to do it now.
Surge. Surge is kind of dick riding him right now.
Well, he's still inside the top 20
doesn't have that much. He's gonna need to get some tags. And he has about 50, so.
A little bit longer, and he is doing just that. A little bit of a zone pull towards his side, more or less.
Not this game,
has
but...
Candy and Seti looking from up above.
I mean, you never know. He might get a refresh and then have one of the best Fortnite solo clutches in history. I don't really know. He's fighting a team too. Looks like he's about to go down.
Wow.
Oh my god. Getting out of there. No movement meta. He's actually cooking. Let him cook now. And he has some fit. Oh. Peterbot kills him.
He takes him down. Peterbot is also a solo.
Peterbot is also stacked. Well, not, no. I meant he's not stacked. Oh, Chap and Teeny, they are chilling right now. They have the freest surge.
And they're looking for even
Oh, so it looks like Mel's and Epic, they're in first right now. Oh, Peter and Poyo.
Got a really strong grasp on this high ground.
What an incredible view
I know.
for Chapentini. This is coming off the mountain here. Seti.
Oh, Seti is...
Seems to have lost his
It's
teammate
over,
now.
Vlad.
Has to do this on his own here, but still.
Amy and Seti, they are the best LAN team ever. They have a second and a first in FTS Invitations.
No time to play with this storm, though. He just cannot afford it.
Seti's doing everything he can to try and scale his way up this mountain face, but things are just going to get all the more vicious the higher he climbs. The more pressure he might encounter. Muzz
I think Muzz going down.
Situation. Peterbot goes huge right off of Seti.
8 eliminations now for Peterbot and Poyo here. Peterbot still going. Nearly finding another one there. Just moments away now from the top 5 here. Can he do it as a solo? He's getting spotted out. The armor wall comes down.
Oh, yep, it's over. GG's. Alright. Nice game for Peter and Poyo. They're probably going to be second or third. But, yeah. Pretty sad. I fucking hate Peter and Poyo. Like, get your egoistic ass out of this tournament, bro.
But Acorn and Cole, the fact that they are still intact.
Killing clicks, too. Not for clout killing clicks, but, like, still. I just don't like it. Acorn and Cole, they do have some pretty good positioning. But, Teeny.
Well, look at this. High ground starting to run out of material. Vico and Flixie, this is the pick for me. The team that I knew, you leave them uncontested. They're just going to put in dangerous work here on the field.
I don't know if he's going to be able to...
starting to shape up. Acorn and Cold and a saving grace.
Teeny and Chap, they win. GG's, guys. Peace, bro. It was a great game.
Yuma sends up against Acorn, finds a beautiful tag there. Loses his teammate, though. Finds another exchange. It's back and forth here. Anything can still happen.
All he sees scurrying in the low ground, they're sabotaging.
Yuma. No way. Oh my god. Bro, Yuma, chill the fuck out. You're so good. No way. He clutched so hard there.
Flixie versus Chapentini. It's a
Alright.
battle of Europe.
GG's, Chapentini win.
Indeed here. 5 eliminations still for Teeny and Chap. Things are starting to rack up. Teeny,
Let's make
the
him
first to
kill.
go down. Chap's also weak.
Yep, let's go.
They took the game. And game number 1.
I did not expect them to win that, actually.
And Teeny.
I was expecting Peter and Poyo until he started becoming shambles.
You could tell
Teeny and Chap
they were aiming exclusively for the victory royale at this stage. But granted, you have to keep in mind, there's somebody on the ground that can help out even more so.
Dallas, would you please give it up your game 1 winners?
Let's go.
Chap and Teeny, do you want to step up for me here, fellas? So everyone can see your glorious faces. Let's kick things off here. What a great start. I mean, you guys, obviously, game one, a lot of pressure, but waiting around the beginning. But in front of these fans, to walk us through the end game, how did things pan out for you guys?
Good. We're the best players, so it's easy.
Best players, easy. I mean, I love the confidence there. For you
All
as
right.
well there. I mean, your teammate
Me and my
here,
friend
you
will be
guys
right
were
back,
getting
okay,
Beacon
gang members?
50 in the last seconds there.
Okay,
you had the
zero
high ground.
viewers.
Is that
See you in a
really
few
counted
minutes.
there?
Of course, we're only playing for height, and that's how we win games. That's it.
Coming into this competition, obviously a lot of expectations, things that might happen. Did things pan out in that first game as you thought they might, or was it very different?
It was different. We took forecast, and then we just played out.
Those forecast towers are playing a very pivotal in this as well. How important are those in the rest of this competition with 11 games left to go?
The most important thing, if you get that, you win the game. It's easy.
Would you please give it up one more time for your game one winners? Champatini, everyone! Oh, things have started beautifully here. There is loads more coming your way here, courtesy of the FNCS Global Championships 2024. A short break from us here on the broadcast. But do not go anywhere. Stay exactly where you are. There's loads more coming your way very, very soon.
Oh wait, I did. He said, okay, I'll talk to mom about it.
In Texas.
Yeah, it's in Texas. You dumb? It's in Fort Worth. Let's see. I already know it's gonna be Falcon and Teeny. Okay, Yuma and Rise. Let's go. They're crazy. Vico and Flixie. Oh, fourth. Let's see. Where's Pookie, aka Click? No, bro. Bro, Peter Boss sold our free cookies, man. Fuck you, Peter. Suck a dick, man.
What is going on, everybody?
What's
Welcome
up,
back to the FNCS.
I'm back right as
game
right as Fortnite's back.
one. Chap and TD find themselves the victory royale, and that first game was
absolutely crazy to see these guys come out on top and to get that interview, right? Hey, we're the best
Me and
team.
Charles have
You
gotten
just
some
get forecast,
chips.
You get this, you get we're the best team. That's it. That's all that matters.
I mean, if you look at Major 2, Major 3, when they both got second place in both majors, yeah, they're kind of one of the best teams right now.
Pretty good
And
right now,
showing
so.
up today and showing up early as well, eliminating Agers and Rise right off the bat.
Yeah, really, really interesting after this first game, because we were sort of talking about it going into the first game. Where are these guys going to land? What's their strategy going to look like? We didn't quite know, and now we get a little bit of an insight into what that's going to look like. It seems like they're really prioritizing that forecast tower. Another thing that we focused on at the beginning of the show. They want that forecast tower, and that's the reason why they're able to get height right here.
That's the worst burp of all time.
Shaping up to try and take height
bro.
and holding it in that sort of 8-9 zone, but they didn't get that next zone. So Teeny and Chap took that opportunity really well because they knew where it was going.
Also, to be able to hold height for as long as they did, all the way from zone 9. Once again, the forecast tower allowing them to know where to move that height and use or save up those much needed mats towards the end of the game.
No, that was game 1.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Game 2
What
pretty
a great
soon.
way to start the competition.
If Clix and Vino win this game, they're going to be back up.
Chilling there. Yeah, we're the best. Not a big deal. Man,
What do
that
you
is a statement game out of game number 1. But there was just so many things that transpired in game number 1. Just so many solo performances that all took place. I mean, we saw
Charles,
there for a moment, even Rise and Yuma making a top 3. 8 eliminations? That's terrifying. We can't let that happen.
Yes, we can, and they did. And I want to see it happen again. Rise and Yuma representing Asia right now, showing that, oh yeah, it's NA versus EU. You got to watch out for Asia as well.
Yeah, these guys are really looking good right there. 8 eliminations clutching up there in the end in those
Oh,
final
8
few moments. The crowd
eliminations.
erupted as soon as they got that
Yuma and
final
Rise.
elimination. It wasn't quite
8
enough to get
elims,
into that first or second, but they've got to be happy with that start, particularly on this stage.
That's
like-
right. I want to highlight Peterbot,
In this,
man.
they said
I don't
it's
know
EU
what
versus
Peterbot
NA.
is about, but I
And
do
then
now.
they said,
in those
no,
final
watch out
moments,
for
you know,
Asia.
Poyo goes down, and you have the solo clutch, and he
For me, in
pulled
my
it off.
opinion, top 4
And
regions.
for Peterbot
Number 1,
to
EU.
take
Number
down
2,
Clix in
um,
game number
NA.
1. You know that
Number
there was
3,
definitely some emotions
Asia.
going
Number
high
4,
right there.
Australia.
But Peterbot, if he is
And then, yeah,
down
rest.
into a solo, I mean, he's honestly a duo as a single player.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, both of these players have the ability to do this, solo clutches. And in big events like this, 12-game formats, these solo clutches are going to be so vital in getting these guys into a really nice position. I must say, this burst
They don't
assault
start
rifle
match 2
ex
for
Peterbot
5 minutes.
is a crazy combo. It shouldn't be allowed
Chat.
because he's so
I'm
good
gonna leave
with
for a
that.
few
And even
minutes
towards these endgame
with my friend.
situations, taking out
Y'all
Seti
can
there at
watch
that final few
Fortnite
moments just to
comms, I
keep
guess.
himself going.
Because
Too
Fortnite
little, too
comms are
late
the most
towards the end, but
entertaining thing
really,
ever.
really great stuff.
I mean, their strategy is just so
But, like,
clean
who cares,
from the
bro?
start. Landing
I'll
right,
be right
getting
back.
the coin, getting the mythic AR, going over to the forecast tower, and then getting the Rift Island as well in that game, allowing them to just have a little bit of height, a little bit more mats, and more importantly, getting that mod weapon bench so that I saw Poyo kind of modifying his weapons there, getting exactly what they wanted so that they were prepared for the end game.
I love seeing their 3rd place. Vico, Flixie, a 2nd place. They didn't even need the Victory Royale, right? The fact that they made it to 2nd place, you've already done too much. You've already let them get too far in the game.
Yeah, I mean, they started it off so strong as well, getting eliminations onto Shadow and Virgo by zone 1 there. And then, of course, just dominating the low ground as we know them to do.
Yeah, exactly. Another really solid performance of these guys. We've seen them do it previously. This is exactly what we expected. Low to mid ground, finding those eliminations. And towards the end there, where it was the final 2v2, it was kind of like Major 3, where it was 2 of the best teams in EU going head to head. Of course, 2 different, very, very different play styles. These guys are not necessarily going to be going for height every single game. But of course, what I noticed there was a little bit of a change in rotation. They went towards the north side of their drop spot. So interesting to see whether that's going to change throughout the day, whether the forecast tower fight's going to affect that. But really nice start from these guys.
That's right, guys. I know you want more action. We can talk more about this, but let's just jump back into it. MDF, the best taco. Back over to you.
Yeah, that was a very intense game. Obviously, we're coming out. You know, I couldn't even believe it. I almost, you know, just threw the whole mic off the headset. I was really into it for a second there.
Yeah, and the craziest part still, of course, we have 2 EU teams duking it out to close off our first lobby here. And match number 2 is ready to go.
The battle bus has left the station. Match number 2 is here. What do we have in store for us this game? I mean, last one was surely a surprise with the Middle Eastern teams taking a top 10 position. One Asia team up there as well. And of course, those that you expect. The best from NA, some of the greats from EU.
Yeah, and Acorn and Cold they haven't necessarily had an easy time about it either here at Brutal Beachhead. You know, you get like the soft contest coming out of Analyx and Sato, and this could prove to be very difficult though for Analyx and Sato, because you can tell the commitment is there, but if they want to take this fight to Acorn and Cold, it could be a really difficult one to actually close out in quick fashion.
We have to give all credit to not only Clix and Vino for Clix's performance to stay alive and secure a top 15, but Damo and Resigns, who found even more placement points, ending just closer to that top 10. So a very impressive performance for teams that were contested that game, actually. When you start to do the math on that, that is almost unprecedented.
Well, it was almost like Damo and Resigns were trailing Clix and Veno the entire match, and if they hadn't actually stumbled upon Kishudo as a solo, I almost wonder if things could have maybe gone a little differently there, because that's what really got them tied up into a rough position. But again, hindsight's always 20/20. Currently, we are focused on the now. Chap and Teeny lingering around the Nitrodrome, but Kanata and Cooper close by means that all they can really look for here is just trying to prioritize their mat count.
Yeah, we do know Kanata and Cooper like to rotate closer to Agers and Rise, who was taken out pretty early last game, so they didn't get to secure that fight, and they found themselves in a completely different battle up against Visual and Braids, and it really didn't go their way. Shortly afterwards, Braids ended up falling to Epic Whale Muzz, so pretty interesting, you know, zone dynamics starting to take shape here, and that's really part of the high level of Fortnite. Game to game, micro adjusting, right? They all know what went well, what went wrong, and it's about adjusting in the real time. But here's Seiyun, here's Kadu against Casper and Prism. Little stands off here, so it seems like this game, similar to match one, is gonna kind of take its time rolling into the eliminations.
Yeah, Janus almost seemingly happy about the fact that these teams kind of caught wind of each other, because that allowed for him to just slip on by, head on out, a red line rig, make sure that he doesn't get caught in the mix. He's clearly just trying to make a play for that Reboot Max. Like, didn't see Pixie anywhere near, so almost makes you wonder at the same time. It's going to be a difficult situation for a lot of these teams.
Here's Cammy and Seti. They have angles, they have a little bit of high ground. Meanwhile, King and Phaser getting active right now just outside the Rebels' roost. What is happening here? They seem to be finding their groove right now. It's Visual and Braids once again who are giving some of these duos a really difficult time, making them all second guess whether or not they should be sticking around and fighting them. So, you know, that's impressive.
Yeah, but this is also a really smart disengage from King and Phaser, recognizing the fact Sky Scroll still nearby as well. Rebels Roost just a little bit too poppin' for their interest at the moment, but even hanging around the Underworld could pose some issues because they didn't stick around for the fight. Don't know how much surge damage they've actually been able to accrue at this stage, and once we start to get into that mid-game rotation aspect of the, we already saw a handful of teams, even some of the teams that you wouldn't necessarily anticipate to struggle with their surge damage, having issues.
Very interesting. We get to catch up with Batman Booga and Rapid here at the Grim Gate. This has been their drop spot for quite some time, coming out of Major 3, of course, with an excellent performance. You know, if you start looking at the paper trail of Rapid and Batman Booga, everyone's marking them up towards the top 3 as far as the NA teams are concerned. And talking about top 3, it wouldn't be one without Cold and Acorn. They're just putting teams down. This time, they do finish the fight up against Analyx and Sato. They don't let them escape.
But now, something that Sato and Analyx are potentially going to have to start considering is if this keeps going in favor of Acorn and Cold, if they continue to take the fight to them, do you switch for day 2? But I think we still got a few more lobbies to work through before that really starts to become the real question mark here. For Stash Malabuka, though, starting off somewhat on the right foot here at Restored Reels. One elimination already. Curious if one of those is onto either Alex or Worthy.
Yeah, something happened there, but Bolts and Bryce are in a fight right now. A little build-off happening here. It's a pretty intensive early game fight for, given the situation, a Zone 1 Sky base going on here. This is going to be a full-on reset if it doesn't end fast. It's up again, Vico and Clixie. You know, obviously, our second place coming out of game 1. Very much fired up, very much confident.
Bryce and Bolt are not going to fold here, though. The forecast tower, the weapons bunker that spawns nearby where Bolt and Bryce like to land, And this is something that, you know, they were willing to contest Reed and Ritual for when it was Reed and Ritual at Reckless Railway. So now Vico Flixie haven't taken over that position. And it's funny because you asked Vico in the player lounge last night, hey, what do you think about the forecast tower? He's like, that's my forecast tower. You ask any of these players who are actually trying to contest, they'll always tell you the same thing. That's my forecast. And yet, Vico Flixie, they find themselves stuck because Bryce and Bolt either need to get eliminated or forced out here. Whoever controls the NPC is going to win.
And it's pretty incredible. You got to talk with Vico. I got to talk with Bolts and Bolts'
Bryce and Bolts are a good team. I don't know if they're going to win this fight, though. Well, they definitely won't because Vico and Flixie
and
are
he's
crazy.
here, and he believes that paired up with Bryce,
And you have them on
they are
high.
a
Yep, they're winning
perfect
this fight if
combination.
they
So very
keep
interesting
fighting.
to see that. Both
Never know.
teams very much feel like they're entitled to this drop. Vico and Flixie seem to be the first, of course, boots on the ground here. They're going to secure the card, which means they have everything that they need here to go ahead and be the one to get the first dibs. But Bolt comes in, takes down Flixie from up above. Whose tower is it?
Vico might
Vico
have that
versus
Vico,
Bryce
but how
and
long can he really hold on to it? He's trying
Bryce and Bolts.
to
They're
just
probably
get
going to
out
win
of
this,
dodge at
honestly.
point, creating as
But
much
they do
space as
need to get the
possible.
Elim to get the
Bolts and
forecast
Bryce,
off, and they need
now
the
that they've
forecast.
isolated Vico
They wanna have
by
good rotates.
forcibly eliminating Flixie, they're going to chase him. They do not want to let him escape with that forecast key card.
And this is not just an elimination. This is not just a player. That is someone who holds the keys to every single
Cram and Slow,
for the
they're just trying to
remainder of
sneak
this
up on
game.
the
It is worth
bunker, and
so
they
much more
might have
than
it.
just a set of points.
Never know.
Bolts and Bryce have to think long and hard, and they end up easing
Vico
off for a
trying to
second
creep
round
out of the
because
fight.
Cloning
Bryce
Kramsu
goes
is
down
waiting for them, and
to
Bryce
Clone and
is gonna be
Cram.
one of the
Nice.
first to
That's-
fall now as he gets
I
ambushed.
think
This was almost like an unexpected gift.
Bryce was
Clone
trying to
and
go for the,
Kramsu were situated
bunker.
exclusively for the bunker, and yet when Vico tried to escape because he recognized the fact, hey, I've just got to play for the reboot. I just need to get Flixie back into this game. We'll deal with the forecast later.
Oh,
got full piece, bro.
Too slick with it.
They are crazy.
That was just dirty right there to get boxed up. But look, Bolts has the card, so he actually ends up finding Vico potentially here, or no?
Vico dropped it.
Yeah, he ends up
Bolts got it.
dropping it just
Nice.
so that he doesn't.
Well,
you know,
Bolts.
bring that
Why the
heat
fuck
with
did
him.
I say
So,
Bolts, bro? I'm so
very,
weird.
very interesting turn of events here.
But sure, you might have forecast secured, but at what cost? Because realistically, if I'm Kramsu, I'm not letting you escape. And that's the thing, Vico knew that there was no reason for him to continue trying to hold on. He
I hope
did
Vico
not have the
wins
materials
this game.
to feasibly escape unless he gave up that key card.
I actually love that we got to see
Peter
him
and
drop
Pollo?
the key card
There.
as well, right? Just saying, hey, look, you can
positioning,
have it,
bro.
man. My hands
They're
are in
dead
the
side,
air.
but they have
White
that
flag
hill.
is waved. Go ahead, take it, and he plays for another day. That just really shows you what this tournament means,
Both
right?
cuts.
That's not an interaction you'll have in any regular
Calling him-
game, right? There's just
saying
something
that he has a bowl
prestigious
cut is honestly
about
so
the
depressing.
Fortnite Global Championship that even the players give respect to one another like that. It's incredible.
Brooks
to
and
watch.
Vito caught in Storm
This is
again.
looking like a
I think they're gonna
menacing
try to fight.
situation.
Chapentini right in front of them. They have really bad positioning. Cammy and Seti behind them as well.
Oh my gosh.
Cammy and Seti being the best LAN players we've ever seen.
At this stage, but fact of the matter is, all of these teams are just fixated on one thing, and it's likely the weapons bunker.
You hear it.
It's
opening
not
up right
Falcon.
now, and
That's just their org.
Flex and Vino
Chapentini. They're the ones that won the first game, so I don't know.
This is not the greatest idea. They double back
Flex and
the
Vino.
campfire.
Ooh, they found a
They'll get their
campfire.
chance
They
at
might
the
be able to
bunker, right?
fight.
They'll be able to pick up some scraps, get their attachments. But first,
No, actually, they're
things
chilling,
out,
actually.
let things
They-
settle.
I like that fly.
They disengage. I like that.
And Pixie, so it looks like Janice's rescue mission was a success. He
Pixie and
was
Vico,
able to make his
they've
way
got
towards the
decent
reboot
positioning.
van, but again, you have to start to wonder what kind of damage.
Shadow
was he able to
sneaking up on
collect
them.
prior to
Virgo as
losing
well.
Pixie.
Virgo's got the
And
height on them.
now,
Well, not
Virgo's
really
well
height,
heating up
just
one more time because Vico
few tiles above them.
brought Pixie into it, but now Shadow and Virgo.
Shadow
trying
and
to see
Virgo
if
are
they can pose a
actually
threat.
doing pretty good on
This is
this.
Shadow, someone I've known for a long time. I've followed his career closely. He is a very, very
Oh, now they're
scary
engaging this
player.
again?
Once he starts to get situated, game one jitters are out of the way now. Him and Virgo have been nothing but successful as a duo here.
Virgo and
wait a second. Vico and Flixie.
Well, Virgo and Shadow, they're not full shambles. It's more the Vico and Flixie.
Best right now.
There's only 12 builds. I don't know. They're gonna have to box fight this. They need to turn this fight into a box fight. Not really like just a normal fight. That's not. Because a box fight, it uses less of your mats. It's easier if you have good beats.
I mean, we're talking about.
Yeah, everything is super easy. So that's a nice mechanic for them. They're shams.
Even when you talk to
Wait,
either
what's
of them,
Flixie's builds? I don't know.
Reeking of confidence, essentially, and for good measure, because Vico, Flixie,
Virgo and Shaco trying to creep away.
Vico was incredibly low in
Vico and Flixie, they are trying to get some damage on him.
Shadow and Virgo, and that
Oh,
is
Dukes,
not easy
nice
by any
positioning.
means.
Jumping to the other side.
I know,
here.
he's
Dukes
killing right
and
now.
Sphinx trying to figure out what's
6
happening down
splashes,
here
1 big.
south of
90
the zone.
fizz, that's really good.
As things are just starting to develop, clearly shots are coming in from teams in the
He's
distance.
fine.
Meanwhile, Queasy has that high ground. Trapped and lurking.
That's not a sky base. That's he's just trying to get some
surge.
surge.
Get involved. Teeny already sitting on the base for a moment.
Teeny and Chap, they might try to chop it.
I don't even
They
know
have the
if it's
freest
Queasy that's
Edom
in
of all
danger
time.
nearly as much as what it might be Thomas HD when he tries to work his way back towards the surge base he has with Queasy. You can hear the Monarch pistol, shots flying out overhead. Thomas making his way back towards him, but he scouted it out. Man just threw up the wall just in the nick of time.
They might pick
Queasy
them
also
here.
on high alert
They're doing
now.
pretty good. They're
The
being
Chap
very
team, they
consistent.
made enough noise. Other teams in the distance actually
There's
trying to
3
take side
teams
shots
here.
at
There's
them.
Queasy,
Gotta
Thomas
respect Thomas
HD,
HD's
Chap and
ability
Teeny,
to
the
not only
winners of
see
the first
them and
game.
react faster than they can land a
Oh,
shot
Thomas
on him, but
HD
also
taking
get up the
high.
high
I like
ground
that.
before it was too late. And look, they're gonna just go and get off of there. They're like, wait, that team, they want to fight. No,
How
we
did
don't need
Thomas
that.
HD engage with him
Give
though?
them
Like, how
the
did he get
respect.
up?
They back off the restored reels. They play
I
the
don't
center
know.
zone now. And this is a very, very good
probably
early
doing it.
rotate to go ahead and find a new position here. Find some new real estate, if you will. Meanwhile, at the Grim Gate, we have another prize in Yuma coming out of Asia, representing here last game. Phenomenal performance. Ending up towards the top 8 eliminations as well. This game off to a hot start with 2. Look, we look away, we blink for a second, and the double headshot onto Phaser.
The lineup is just nasty. You can just tell.
Oh, Bryson
that
Bullets, they
Thomas
have
HD
0
and
points.
Queasy
If you look at the
ecstatic
leaderboard from that
about
game,
that loot
they
bomb
need
that
to win this
essentially just
game.
picked up from the knock.
Booga.
Yeah, I don't even know if they want to cross over and pick up the loot at this point. It would end up being all too risky with King nearby, but
Batman, Booga, and Rapid.
haven't
They're doing pretty
stopped
good
their
right now.
pursuits onto different duos. I'm feeling like maybe they're not
that.
getting enough tags in
Alex
these
and
fights.
Worthy, they didn't do that good in the first game. They were pretty
It can also be
shambles,
so
but they
disorienting
still
to other
pulled off a
teams in the
17.
lobby when you're dealing with the likes of Chapatini, because they're just barreling down onto anybody that they
Australia,
encounter.
they're not the
They
biggest
could
region,
care
they're not the
less
smallest region.
about the caliber, like a player that they are
Alex and
dealing
Worthy, they're
with, the
pretty good.
process. All they want
But, like,
at the end of the day is the points from the eliminations.
at the end of
and
the
to clear
day,
out the
there's
space
EU, there's
to make sure
NA,
that their
there's Asia,
rotations
so.
maintain their smoothness.
There's fucking Middle
But
East,
Giannis,
there's Brazil. I don't know.
Chapatini are currently
I don't know how big of
boxed
a
up,
region.
and they are not the
I
only
think the smallest
ones
region ever
to clone.
in Fortnite
Working
is Middle
overhead,
East.
Persa Ed as well. Close enough that they could definitely tango if they wanted to.
Chapatini, 130 below.
Oh my god, that
Just mention that.
crazy.
They're not finding the tag, and it's very clear, regardless of how many
Yeah.
teams they've managed to fight. It just hasn't been
Relied
successful
on it?
with this.
Dude, that's
so far,
no.
looking like the best here. Double
No.
armor walls come out. That's going to slow down all of their momentum here. And if I'm being honest, I think they have to keep pursuing it, find a new angle, do something else. They can't afford to stop at this point. Teeny's got
Not
a new
enough
angle
builds.
here.
They're
He's
gonna need to make
behind
these.
Pixie now.
They're gonna need to get these evens
The
for
other
sure.
duo, basically.
And their
that
surge
there
is
Ed and
really bad
Persa,
right
who
now.
are
They need to
also
get some
very,
surge on
very
these
weak.
guys.
It's
They
just
need
not
some.
looking good for the
They need
Brazilian
some knocks.
duos,
They
not
need some
looking too
mats.
good
They
for
need some
EU's Giannis.
heals. They're looking shambles right now.
Every time.
Yeah, they're shambles. It's over.
Shots hurt. Back against the wall. He needs to find the
Oh
line
my
in.
god,
It's
and
so close, but he's gonna be the first to fall.
almost gets the knock.
Pixie, kind of reminding Chappé, we're familiar with each other for a reason, but Giannis and Pixie, they just had too much of an advantage, knowing that the Storm Surge was
trickling in, essentially. It just put too much pressure
That
onto
Quanti
Jap and
right
Teeny.
there.
They were just taking recklessly
He's probably gonna
aggressive
try to
fights,
disengage.
not methodically calculated
Ooh,
ones.
Adri's and Rise. They're fighting right now.
Falcons, Teeny, and Chap were your first place team coming into match number 2. They are now down and out, effectively
100
opening
Fizz
up the
pretty good.
leaderboards for other
Not the
teams
best
to start
mats.
to climb on up now.
We're in 5th zone right now, so
Jasper and
Surge is
Prism
gonna
as
start
well. I
ticking.
think that this is a duo that is
And
really
that's not
caught
good.
some pretty big attention. Given their
How's
recent
Clixie Vino
performances.
doing? I don't know.
EU Casper as well finds FKS in that flashback moment, but Janice Pixie especially is in a really rough position, trying to deal with Quanti at the same time as well. But these two know
Pixie
they just got to
only a
disengage.
bit
They
left
need an opportunity
HP.
to get that make hit off. So Pixie will find a moment here, but Quanti
They have tons of tarps, so they're chilling right now.
All depends on how Janice and Pixie actually
Pixie
choose
ended up
to
getting off
leave
the med
from
kit.
this
He's
current
off the
position.
minis right now. Muzz and Epic Whale,
Epic
actually.
Whale Muzz right now also.
Muzz and Epic, they're
below the
chilling.
Storm Surge here. They
I
just
actually
need a
like
little
this
tag.
positioning they have. They can
Bring
get
your
some
focus
surge.
down to that bottom right,
As you can
that
see,
map.
that's
We're in
quite the
zone
problem
5
right
out
now.
of 12, right? So we're getting into the late part of the game. Things are going to get so real small with the circle.
They don't have enough.
And it's only going to become more and more difficult if you're one of those teams
I think
that don't
Big
have
might need to
heals.
start taking the
Problem
risk
is,
to
when you're
take
also a
surge
team like Muzz and Epic, you
just
had
so
the
they
shield,
can
you had the white heals, but you're
just so
losing
they can
all
let
of it
Muzz get
because
off
you're
the
just
medkit, and then they
underneath
can
that
actually
structure.
get
Finally,
surge.
well, managed to catch a
Finally,
break
they're above.
in the form of damage. And they'll look to try and see what they can scavenge here at the top of Rift Island. Surprisingly enough, mostly undisturbed.
Yeah.
Little update there as a
I don't
gap
know.
from FKS fully eliminated, so 10 places out, first place is out. Cammy and Seti
they're
not looking too great right here.
Yeah,
Below the
not looking
damage threshold as well. Again, what that means is that lightning bolt is going to start coming down
Oh,
from the sky.
Flixie.
They're going to start
He
losing
might be dead.
25 HP.
Flixie and
over the
Vico.
course of time. Periodically, it'll start
Rest
to
in
add
peace
up.
to Flixie and Vico, bro. It's
Vico.
GG's.
This is why they're
He might
fighting
need to
all
pop a
these
chug
teams, because
splash,
they need
so
to.
if someone starts shooting at him,
Otherwise,
he
they will
can
be
have
sent
enough time
back
to
to the
hold.
lobby for not doing enough damage. Here it is.
Vico
Vico
and
gets
Flixie,
slammed
they're
in
getting
on from
contested.
2 angles. but
Oh,
Cammy gets
and
crushed
Cammy goes down.
by a devastating
Oh, Vico
shot.
is so
Vico
crazy.
hits the one that he needs to. Meanwhile, Rise and
Oh.
Yuma jump into the mix
Yuma.
here. This is our team in
Yuma
the lead.
and Rise,
Vico,
the
though,
top
is
two
so
team,
good
and Vico and
that
Flixie,
he
top
is
3.
putting up numbers
They're fighting right now.
up against every single
It's
region
looking
right
too
now.
good for Yuma
It's
and
still
Rise, in my
defending
opinion.
for his teammate.
He's just trying to make sure that he can throw
Vico.
Flixie into a safe position. Revive is clearly on his mind. Armored walls are going to be sent down. Yuma, Rise, they're hoping that they can try to collapse, but I fear the moment has left them. Vico doing so much when it mattered most.
Vico is
to hold his ground, and sure enough, the revive is a success.
Vico and Flixie, they're
has
doing
been
really
brought
good right now.
back
Like, they
into
might
this
actually
battle,
win.
and that's gonna
They
cause
might win on
Rise
day
and
1,
Yuma
but you
to
know how
reconsider
Peter,
whether they actually want to take
you
this
know how
engagement.
Peter,
And that was
he
our
gets so many
current
points
first and
when he has
third,
that
or second
point
place teams
multiplier
basically
on day
to
2,
be
so
going head to head, but let's jump in with Clone and
usually does
Crimson
pretty
right now.
good
Another
in
team
both
very desperate here to find a
FNCS.
fight. Clicks and
Oh,
Epic
Clicks
Whale
and
are the
Vino.
team not so desperate, but ready to defend.
They're
but
actually
only
really
lose the
stacked.
walls first. This is not looking good.
Oh,
But
Clicks
they
and
end
Vino
up
picking
finding
up
the
the
shots.
2
Clicks
elims.
is so fast. He hits one and then the second
Killing
before
Clone
they
and
can
Cram.
even notice what happened to them.
Nice. They
Yeah,
are
he-
absolutely
this guy's
chilling.
been taking some tips
I
from
kind of love
Veno.
their
I mean, he's
position
been
right now.
building his own
They've got
kind of
Bunker near them.
masterclass at this stage.
Vino and Clicks both
Caught by
have good
Vino
maps.
there.
They got the
trap was
refresher
delayed.
mats, so if someone comes,
So
they have maps to
good.
play off of.
That's exactly
Great.
the kind of
They're winning.
bounce back too that you would hope for.
Oh, Bryson
especially
Bolts,
considering
they're
game
Bryson
number
Bolts
one
are on
probably
height.
got
It
a
seems
little
like
bit
they
more
need to
messy than
switch.
what they'd initially intended. So moments like that can really captivate a lot of momentum for players on the big stage.
You know, you make a great point. The first game was really difficult for them. They spend a little too much time inside the storm. So look, already micro adjustments starting to come in, but Muzz and Epic Whale here. Muzz is down. Or sorry, Epic Whale's down. Muzz is by himself. He finds the tags that he needs. Doubles back to
Muzz.
save his teammate as the storm
Shambles.
surge was doing
Oh,
damage.
Raisin and Vidil, they
And
almost
Vidil
got.
and Reason are recognizing, wait a second. Why did you stop pushing
We're in
here?
7th
Something
zone. It's
clearly
gonna be
went
2
wrong.
tick.
Muzz
Well,
now
it is a
has
2
to
tick,
back
actually.
up. I don't even think he got to pick up his teammate in time. No, Epic Whale gets finished there.
He's just barely creeping.
And the development now for Muzz is that he is left by himself with
nothing to really work with. I mean, it's all but over for him.
Vidal and
at this
Reason,
point
they got
if Vidal and Reason want to push.
At the same time, though, Muzz is
Well,
definitely.
he does need the
a bit of a
refresh. Muzz
solo
does need the
mastermind.
refresh.
If anybody could look for a clutch opportunity, the real issue that I'm seeing right now, though, MDF. Baka,
I know, but
Pars,
he has only 5 hits,
right
so if he gets hit
behind
once now,
Muzz is
then he'll be
currently
dead.
fixated.
But he could get
If
some
he wants
kills
to
if
press
he
forward,
kills. So
the deal and reason on the other end of these walls,
no,
it's going to cost Muzz.
His mats
so
are
much
mid.
If he's able to escape this as far as his builds are concerned, he's already
he was
looking
in-
low on that material count.
Yeah, you saw him look through the
I
wall.
know.
I was like, wait, what's left there? Nothing. And I think that was a mistake because now Varial and Reason can tell, wait, he's still pretty close, and they definitely know he's a weakened solo.
He's still chilling. No one's pushing him. So
But hey, if
I like
Muzz can
this.
stay alive, he has the zone, he'll be
Pars
okay
and
for a
Baka,
little
he
bit
needs
of
to look
time.
out for Pars and
Placement
Baka. They
points
might
are
rotate
just
him.
moments away. Take a look from the other perspective, how the damage ended up racking
No,
up there.
Epic was dead.
An
This is just
excellent
a
tag by
replay.
Reason, and then the Surge finishes
Yeah.
the job there in the end. So
Bryce and Bolts,
very,
they have the
very
height.
close.
They might
Had-
actually take
no,
it.
they not
In
have
7
that
zone,
problem.
which
They
is really
definitely were the
early.
team ahead, but
Pollo
here's a
and
team
Peter
that
Bot, they have decent
hasn't really
positioning,
found their
decent
footing just
mats.
yet. Peter Bot and Pollo
Oh,
trying
it
to
didn't.
figure out in match
It
number
looks
2
like
right
they
now.
did
Well,
not
you
get
say
them
that,
down.
but Peter Bot was kind of on a rampage in our first lobby.
Not too good for
but
them.
this time,
Oh, they
obviously,
did,
hoping
actually.
that he can do it alongside his duo, Poli Kayota. They are met with an armored
heard the
wall.
scam,
The moment
so-
that they try to aggress onto Pars and Baka, they'll be forced to drop to the low ground. See if they can try
It like scams
underneath, but
players
Pars,
in
Baka,
your distance.
they recognize there's too much desperation from this duo.
Oh, it's a medallion.
Any sort of risky peeks.
You have to kill the boss for it.
They kind of have to though, but no, the Poli
Toyota.
goes up to Bot by
Toyota
himself.
goes down.
Baka and Pars are some of the best to do it though, and they
Trash
hit
and
their
threats.
tags.
Well, trashy and
Literally
threats.
granted a
need to
huge
rotate.
opportunity there to get comfortable and situated in this game now. Meanwhile,
Clicks
Clix and
and
Vino
Vino.
are a huge rotate here across the
Clicks and
map.
Vino, they were about to
Talk
get
about
lobbied,
a night
but
and day position
but
to be in. Elite
I don't know.
material and
Clicks and
much
Vino,
more
they're
work
about to
right
get
now.
lobbied.
Clix though has to buy some time, get a little healthy here.
Nope, they're not going to get
Starting
lobbied.
out
Let's
of
go.
Shields to work with
No,
though,
they're
but
chilling. They're chilling.
Still,
They're not
they
shambles
get
anymore.
time to regather themselves.
You just had to take.
compose themselves for a
Sometimes you
moment.
do have to pause on rotates, and that's
The most
what
important
we got
part
here.
was looking at
So-
both of their material counts. That is a strong build count for them to work with. And
Ethan and Thomas HT, they might actually do
When
this
you
game.
look at Titans like Thomas HT and Queasy up on the high ground already, just trying to take advantageous shots.
Fight
And any of
wins
these teams,
games
they're starting to
is
trickle
so
their
true
way
right
in,
here.
trying to see if
We
they
have
can
Chap
suppress
and
as many
winning
tools as
last
possible
game,
to those mid and
and
low
then
ground
now
layers.
Well, here it is.
Thomas Stage
Seems
T
like they've
and
been able to catch a little bit of extra
yeah,
information there. Now
They'll
looking for
probably
teams
winning.
nearby. Bryson
And they're
Bolton
still
being one of
alive,
the
so.
first to go ahead and be in
What if they
the
start
line of
getting
sight here.
chopped?
But the zone hasn't popped
Yeah,
just
Peter
yet. They
and
know it's
Pollo
gotta go
might
north.
try and
They're
take
working
it.
their way through this build here.
Means-
The cover's been blown.
Clicks
and
and
they
Vino,
back
they're
off.
chilling right now.
Happy with the few tags, but
I like
still,
it. 85
they
mats.
need more eliminations.
Yeah.
Surely more placement points if they want
They have
to
a
jump up to
shambles
top 5,
rotate as
those
everyone
teams
is
are
on
still
their
in this
side.
game. Meanwhile,
Yeah, they're about to get
still
lobbied.
ramping his way across the high ground, right?
But oh no, Acorn is about to get lobbied.
That's for sure. Queasy, Thomas. They're going to try to hold on to
Acorn
hype for as
Cold.
long as possible. Ideally, the entire game, if possible, like what we
Bitch,
saw
no,
in
no, no,
Capitini in the last
uh,
match. But Acorn Cold,
They don't have the best mats,
very
not the
efficient,
worst though.
found a slight inside
Sometimes
rotate
you gotta be
despite so much
shambles for a bit.
congestion having
Oh,
pulled
Pollo
the
is
real
dead.
center. Zone, but
You don't-
everybody's
I don't know
gotta
about
move
Peter
on
Bot,
now.
so-
Peter Bot just doing what they can to stay ahead of the pack. That reveal
Oh, yeah,
medallion
Clicks and
as well,
Vino.
gonna help them pinpoint some of these
Clicks and
solos
Vino,
that
they
might
might
be
actually
working
win this
through these
game.
existing builds.
Yeah, those extra layers right there. But look at this, Clix and Vino.
Oh, nice.
Catching
Peter
up
Bot gets sprayed.
with a tear
Oh, they
there.
get the refresh.
Peter Bot and Boyo find Yuma as well. Effectively
They get the
taking out
refresh.
some of
They're
that
chilling
immediate
right now.
competition, right? You want to start dropping
And
those
Clix and
players
Vino, they're
that are up at the top of the
just trying
standings.
to get
If you want to
on
jump
Peter and
over
Pollo
them,
for the
it's
scan
not going to be
medallion.
easy. It's going to be
Not
very,
really so much
very
of a
hard to
weapon.
do.
The scan
But they are
medallion
doing just
and
that. Meanwhile, the wider shot tells us the
wall
whole
hacks.
story. There's an indestructible bridge separating the high ground layers from the lows.
And Rico Blakesy, they didn't manage to find the victory royale the way that they would have hoped in match
Yeah,
one.
it's not looking too
And
good
now,
for
staring
Peter.
down.
No, Vico's still there. Vico trying to clutch up the placement, and he's dead.
To recover this one, just too much pre-existing
Oh,
pressure.
Peter Bot, he's yeah.
Acorn's gonna get caught out. And
Oh.
Peter gets the shutdown.
He's having the solo clutch. Oh, and he dies. guys. the cold. Wow.
Just like that,
Cold
it's
popping off
Cold
almost
to the rescue,
Two demons
basically
right now.
here.
That's pretty good.
Making up for lost time there. And at the
Oh,
end of the day,
playing med
the
kits.
real
It's
winner
not
here
looking too
is
good for him.
Cold.
He
gets
might
more
be able to
points
pick
in
up that
points.
Elam
He
right
gets the
there.
heal
Never
up
mind,
now
he's going
and
in.
kind of wait this one out. Meanwhile, Clix is still alive
Clix?
here, working his way through the game.
Yes.
Queasy and Thomas make their way up to the ring.
Queasy and Thomas,
They're
they're
looking
they're
better than
winning this,
ever.
bro.
There is so much material to farm back up here as well.
Well, Clix and Vino, they might be able to come. Clix and Vino, they're on second height right now. They might be able to take it, but oh, they have no mats.
On the other hand, alongside
Damn,
Venom,
Vino.
they're gonna fall back to
I'm
back.
gonna check the
Trulix
leaderboards
and
real quick.
Chicho now seeing
see the
if they can
refresh.
try and finagle their way into that top
shit.
leaderboard placements. But Deal's gonna be the next one they knock. Reason forced to play this one out as a solo.
Oh wait, I just forgot. The game has.
down first staff there, and he gets to secure the
Yeah.
medkit. That's
Second medallion.
picked up right there. The medallion as well to give him that little bit of extra
So many
push
good
here.
players in this end game.
And look at that.
You've got Batman
All the
Booga,
players
you've
that came
got
into this game inside the
Beesman,
top
you've got
Chicho
Chico.
and Trulix are one of the only ones standing
You
here
have
now.
Trulix.
With 8 eliminations, they have ran
have,
their way up the standings and put themselves into this incredible
Ristach. Wow,
conversation
Ristach
of
takes
the
down
team to look
Reason.
out for right now. Rise
And
Aether,
Rise.
a great performance. Booga and
Batman
Rapid
Booga.
show up and get put down, and now it's a top 3, but it's just Pars and Baka down here. Queasy and Thomas have all the time in the world.
Queasy and
The
Thomas
end zone
are
is
just
finally
kings right
closing.
now at height, just
It's
watching
looking like
all
height
this
is winning.
catastrophe unfold underneath. Chicho, Trulix, they know they've got to deal
They do-
with this
no,
team
they
on
don't
Iron.
have any-
All you
they
see
don't
is
have
the
any
armor
mats.
walls stacked in the sky. Trulix gonna opt for the
He's
medkit
gonna need to play his
instead,
medkits
hope that
until
he
the
can
end game and
outlast
try to
Baka
clutch
in
up
the
a top
process.
2.
But again, at the
Nope,
end
he's
of
not
the
gonna do
day,
it.
he's just
Well, he
staring
will.
down
He might.
Queasy and Thomas on height.
They're
Baka.
starting to look down here. They're starting to put some
Baka
tags
gets the
in.
top 2.
They see what's going
Thomas
on. It's just a
HE,
matter of
Queasy,
moments.
nice,
8
GGs.
eliminations for Queasy
They
and
win.
Thomas. They look up. Who's trying to land on us? And of course, it's the one and only coming out the storm, Baka there, who just went with a desperate play. Meanwhile, Trulix down low. If he starts to focus in
It's
here,
over for
he
Baka.
falls so fast. And Baka has high
Oh,
ground.
Baka
now.
has high
He's a little
ground.
scary with the tag. It's
Easy
so
and
good
Thomas
for
HD.
Queasy.
And the incredible part about
Now
it
let's
is
check
still
the
at the end,
leaderboards.
Queasy
See
already
how much
had
it got
the
shook
record
up.
for most
I think
victory
Clix might have gone up some
in
placement.
FNCS finals, but he extends that
Oh,
from
you have
25 to
Yuma
now
and Rise
26
first.
with this last victory
Nice.
royale. Incredible
Pete
stuff.
and Foyle, they're
I wanna
still
hear
in
more
fourth. They're
what Adam
holding
has to say.
off. As Trapantini.
That's right, yeah. Would you please give
Trapantini,
up
they
for
died off
that
spawn in
for
this game.
Thomas
Wow.
HD Queasy! Pop up me fellas, everyone
Epic
wants to
and
see
Mars.
those faces. Let me see those faces. 8 eliminations, a great start to proceedings there. Queasy, I mean, what is it like playing with someone like Thomas? He's got the eye of the tiger. He sees things that no one else sees.
I don't have to worry about
Ooh,
Surge.
11th.
I literally did
Let's
like
go.
200 damage
Clix
that
and
game, and we
Vino.
were
They're doing
600 above or something, so it's pretty easy.
I mean,
5
Thomas,
places there, that's huge.
you've been there, you've got almost
That's
every
huge.
single
They-
t-shirt for the FNCS
Same.
Global Championships. That would be the icing on the cake. Game 2, it's now yours. What have
I'm
you got
not-
out there so far?
I'm
What do
interested
you
in
feel
this.
in the lobby and players
If you
around
want,
you that
you
are
can
going to
play
cause you
like
their
4 now, but
concern?
it's-
I mean, it's like
not
really
plugged
nice to play on the stage again. Like, we only have like 2 lands a year, so yeah. I'm just happy we won a game, like, and we can prove ourselves finally.
I'm seeing as well, Queasy. I mean, there's a lot of fans out here. Hey, you got cheering you guys' names all the time. And let them hear Fort Worth. Queasy and Thomas HD. Let them hear you. Come on.
He's gonna win this thing.
How does it feel to compete as well in front of an audience like this as well? Obviously, there's 10 games left, but are you embracing every second of this alongside your partner?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I got some important people in the audience that told me that I should go height and not die, and that's what I did, and we won the game.
Okay, I'd love to see it. And one more time, would you please forward, give it up your game 2 winners, Thomas and Queasy! Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel good? You're in the raw. You guys have been amazing. You guys at home as well have been fantastic. Quick break from us again here on the main show, but do not go anywhere. There's loads more coming away. 4 more games today. Don't go anywhere.
Streaming for 3 hours. This is gonna be my longest stream ever, dude. Wait, what the fuck? Swear to God, these Fortnite ads are so goofy. The hot ride? I don't know what that is, but Ooh, NASCAR and Fortnite collabed? What the signal? Skibbity slice. Interesting, Charlie. So my friend just took my headphones. Yeah. Dickies Arena. No, that's where it's being hosted. That's where the LAN event's being hosted, so chill. Don't make it sus, bro. What type of dickies are going on in here? What? Oh, nice. Yeah? I already did it. Charles. The game is starting. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, gang.
Welcome back, everyone, to the FNCS Global Championship. We just wrapped up game number 2. Queasy, Thomas, HD get themselves the victory royale. And on top of that, 10 eliminations. They are looking for that Global Championship title. We interviewed them. You saw the confidence. They're here to play.
Well, Zeke, you went ahead and said on top of that. What about being on top of the lobby, Levin? I mean, Queasy, typical. Find himself up on the high ground. But the most impressive thing for me that game is, it's been very, very hard throughout the entirety of the year to play these metas from 8 zone, maintain the high ground throughout the entirety of the end game. But they did it.
I mean, look, you say typical, but if you've been watching the year this year, it's not been typical of Queasy, right? This year, we've had to suffer and watch Queasy do this whole... I'm willing to see him up on height. I think everybody expected to see them sort of be playing on all sorts of layers today, but seeing them up there, right, they look comfortable. They look like they're in their element. All throughout this game, Thomas HD, another level when it came shots he was able to hit, and you saw them just wiping out people below in this game. A top game from Queasy and Thomas.
Just wild to consider, right? Like, the fact that they took height around like 8th zone and they just held it, and no one thinks about contesting them. They head on over to Rift Island, flying above. They're like, hey, we don't even have to build. And if anything happens, we've got launch pads out if something were to go crazy. Them getting this victory royale is very, very scary, right? Because now they're kind of setting a precedent. You give us high ground, you give us a victory royale.
Starting to see the effect, right, of some of the other teams be impacted earlier on in the game, right? Like, we haven't really seen a Peterbot and Pollo alive in either one of these first 2 games yet, right? We know Clix and Veno also struggling throughout that early game, not really able to find their footing either, which are typical names that we might see go up there or apply pressure. But right now, when they find themselves up there, if there's no pressure being applied, it might be a little
Vico and Flixie and Thomas
I think the great thing for Queasy and Thomas here is that, of course, a lot of people saw that they were going to be landing towards that southeast, and they wondered, landing at that base, are they really going to be able to cook, especially with far zones, right? This zone pulled all the way across the map, and we saw that they were able to play out of that spot with relative ease, causing problems in the mid-game, really nice surge-based positioning as well. They clearly have a game plan locked in here that seems to be working, Zeke.
Absolutely, and we actually have a listen-in from that moment on height, so let's take a look at this.
You don't have a dash? Yeah, I have one. Okay. 1 or 2. 74?
Nice.
Goes far. I'm single layering. We're gonna have to dash and fight though. Top 3. 2 duos.
Maybe we fizz and drop down right now. We fizz and drop down right now for sure. I have armored still.
Bring that up.
Yeah.
I'm dropping late, okay?
Yeah.
Late. I have no ammo. We dropped it open or what?
Yeah, okay. Well, we can...
Fizz.
Okay. Yeah. Fight this guy? Yeah.
Look up.
Last one. Yeah. Get high, don't die! Get high, don't die! Come on, man. It's too easy. Bro. It's too easy.
You heard it. Get hyped, don't die. That's all their concerns. Just two things. We got to do this game. And man, just to see and like get to hear those comms is really special because we kind of get a little sneak peek into how they're choosing to operate.
I don't know.
So calm, right? Very little comms.
Get
They're
hyped,
like,
don't
hey,
die is
top two.
honestly
Don't
crazy.
freak out, don't panic. It's just like, hey, here's the information. Top 2, let's drop, let's do this.
I mean, it was a great example of just the dynamics of that team, right? Queasy with very clear communication, that strong leadership. That's why he's considered one of the best IGLs this game's ever seen. But still having the trust in Thomas when Thomas made a call and said, I want to do this, let's do this. Following that and sticking to that, committing to that, great teamwork.
Resource management, planning out the rest of the game before it even happens. But that little thing that I saw at the end there, you saw Thomas, he was editing out the floor. So that way the tarps above them actually would fall, right? They would break away. So that way Baka had nothing to kind of land on that was actually inside of the zone. Took away every single advantage possible from the competitors.
Those little things, right? Those little nuanced decision makings, so incredible. We saw this in the first place. Trulix and Chicho in first place by a massive margin there. And to think in this, they picked up 8 eliminations, right? So remember, we don't always see the victory royale. That helps, but if we're placing top 3 with 8 elims, y'all better look out.
Listen, me and Levin, we were sitting down in the practice area yesterday. Shout out to Reed. I was having a little bit of a conversation. And he was like, Trulix and Chicho, they're just so annoying. They just build ramps up. They get all of the storm surge in the world. It's just so random. And to see them make it into the end game is really no surprise when you kind of take that sort of strategy into account.
The surprise here for anyone that's familiar with Trulix and Chicho is they're not the type of team you want to see or expect to see having that eliminations, right? There's a low elimination players, they play out their match really well, they play out their med kits like we saw them do there, right? Had the 3 med kits, once they ran out of the mats in the end game, you play your med kits, clutch up some extra placement points. But if they're going to be able to do that, Zeke, popping off and getting high elimination games, we could see them repeat the success they had last year at the Global Championships.
That is so crazy. And a final thing here to call out Peterbot once again in a situation he's left as a solo. This game, though, was a little bit different from them. They were kind of in shambles there, which is a little bit uncharacteristic.
Yeah, I think still kind of finding the necessary amount of surge, I think, towards the later part of the game, right? I know we tuned in with them towards the earlier zones, like 3rd and 4th, and their storm surge seemed very, very fine. But as you can see right there, a little bit of struggles led to some material deficiency right there, and just a fight going for that. Pollo goes down, and yeah, again, Peterbot kind of left as a solo, but we've kind of seen those performances throughout the year with Peterbot, and these are the type of games that Peterbot pulls out the enough points to kind of hang on for the duo.
Exactly.
The worst it gets.
Right. Exactly. Love to see it. Guys, we want to talk more, but we're getting right back into action. There's more Battle Bus action to go, so this is game number 3. Casters, up to you.
Thank you guys so much. And yeah, MDF, we are approaching the halfway point here in day 1. But what's even crazier to consider still, sure, it's match 3, but tomorrow 6 more games to work with and a 1.5 times point multiplier.
Yeah, that's right. And that's where teams start to hit the drawing board. I mean, Vino has expressed this before to us in his interviews. Day 2 is always the hardest, especially for players like him that focus so heavily into that day 1 prep. So this foundation that has to get built here and now is extremely important. Let's jump on the Battle Bus.
Game 3. Well, match 3. But why did I say game?
And just like that, match number 3 is upon us. The Battle Bus is departing one more time here today, and I think also, one thing we're really going to get a chance to see is how the micro adjustments continue to unfold, because at this stage, you really want to make sure you're setting yourself up for the best recipe for success heading into day 2, but this halfway mark could really be the telling tale.
Yeah, and we're kind of jumping back to match 1 vibes right here. Cal Gamer, Haman versus CZB and Nathan. They won the first fight. Kind of fizzled out the second. This one now is all up to Cal right here. Cal finds the first tag and no duo insight yet. Kind of runs off to a safe spot. very smart position to put him in. Meanwhile, Nathan has more time to go ahead and start healing up, but no material. We all know Fortnite's a game of build and attrition, and if you have the mats, you usually have the fight in the bag. CalGamer comes on top for the Middle East.
That is a big clutch opportunity there for CalGamer because definitely need to start
Alex and Rudy, they're not engaged
in terms of that leaderboard, but again, they're not the only ones with that vision in mind. Merstash, Malabuka, Restored Reels one more time. Oshi,
Worthy and Alex.
Worthy and Alex. I want to see them lurk in the horizon, but the way that they've chosen to split that POI is pretty interesting.
I want to see more Worthy perspective in Alex there, but we have to see what's happening here between Oshi and Middle East here. This is a really big fight for FKS and Adapter, whom are winning at the moment. Tinka goes down, Daneth is down as well, and FKS and Adapter collapse from both angles so perfectly. Look at it from Adapter's perspective, just catches him in the nest there, in the danger web, and it is over before they can even put down a build.
Have to love that supportive fire coming in as well.
Phaser
Perfect timing. Phaser and King, though. Slight world of hurt
King is
here.
not down, actually.
Phaser trying to do what he can, but at the same time, we'll have to just check back in with him, see how he manages as a solo for the time being, because we've got action heating up here at Restored Reels. So many medkits getting tossed out, but Merstash and Malabuka manage to take this one over yet again. 2 eliminations in the bag, plenty of heals to work with as well, so they'll be able to recuperate nicely.
Take a look from Merstash's perspective there. He lands a great tag on the word so fast. And Malabuka finishes off Alex, who's a little weak there. Almost finishes Malabuka even with the HP disadvantage, proving that he definitely had the better shot, but just gonna come up short there. Meanwhile, Threats and Trashy have gone up against Peterbot and Boyd, and you can see the results of that. Not very good for Trashy at the moment, but Man City Threats, if it's one thing that we know, is that he's a veteran of North America. He's going to stick around and try to put down some numbers here.
Oh, it's over for Threats.
Definitely big fans of that thermal
One
scope
goal,
as well,
14 builds.
It's
As
going to
he
take more
slowly
than 1 or 2
creeps
nice
away.
shots for Threats to work his way
Yapko
out of this
chasing him
position.
down.
Keep in mind, he's still
You don't know who's going to
possibly
win
gonna
this
get
fight,
sandwiched
but
here if he's not
oh, never
careful.
mind. Yapko's
Peterbot
actually getting
Boyle
some surge.
still close enough that they could continue to play
Still
spoiler there
24
for
damage,
Threats.
so.
The Yapko and Swizzy also on the wraparound here.
Not the best
They're
on
gonna
builds,
choose to
so.
just try and work their way through Charon's Crossing. Not really interested in sticking around.
Garrison Shari, center zone right now, chasing down Phaser. Phaser gets inside the tunnel. We've seen some very fun plays go down here, but this dynamic not too exciting. And I mean, it's just simple math, right? There's only so many places you could be. Heroes takes down Shari. They've already took down King, and that's going to be quick wraps for that duo. Meanwhile, on the other side, Queasy and Thomas HD right now, very much situated, coming off of the victory royale. No one, just like no one in sight either, right? Very, very comfortable as far as the spacing is concerned right now.
And we already heard what the comms sounded like for Queasy and Thomas and what their intention is as far as the matches here today. Just get height, don't get eliminated. It's as simple as that, or at least it sounds like it on paper, but taking height in the first place is the real challenge.
It's so easy, right? Just do it, basically, is what Queasy's trying to say here. Keep the mentality locked in, and they do just that. And honestly, I think the more important insight, how much he depends and relies on Thomas HD, knowing that, hey, Surge, we got it covered. I have one of the best duelists, right? Like in the game right here, in the world. Thomas HD, no stranger to hitting those shots when they matter. Meanwhile, Flixie and Vico, they have to make up for that shortcoming in game number 2, falling in the mid game.
Yeah, and it's all gonna pop off here yet again by the Forecast Tower. One that's situated in between Reckless Railway and Mount Olympus. And realistically, Bryce Bolts, you have to keep in mind, Ifanazen is in the backyard, and that's exactly what they're after. They find Job and Michael trying to just sneak around the low ground, but it's not going to work this time as Bolts and Bryce find their first elimination. That's a nice amount of surge damage as well, so they can afford now to stay engaged in this fight for the Forecast Tower in comparison to maybe Vico Flixie, depending on what their surge tags might look like.
Yeah, and you know, Job and Michael had that strategy. They were going to come in with a surprise contest. And it just seems like things are a little difficult for them, but Swizzy and Jocko, right? Talk about coming over insurmountable difficulties just to make it this far. Swizzy finding his footing here. He's going to take down Ping and Walks. Just one of the two for now, but still, eliminations starting to fall their way. These are critical points now for the tournament standings. On the other side, Clix and Vino make it out of the drop. And now they're on their way to the north side of the zone here. Still cold, so dangerous on the outskirts here.
Cold, making sure to just use the natural terrain, keep himself as concealed as possible. But again, Clix and Vino are more than aware of just how much attention the Forecast Tower is bound to draw towards them and their initial rotates, but it seems as if Vino and Clix were a little bit more fixated on trying to deal with Shari, Giras, but now having to look back because of the tags that came into play from Cold and Acorn, and Sherry probably a little bit happy about having some of that pressure alleviated temporarily.
I saw Vino saying, wait, is that a solo rotating back here? So he's a little bit more keen now to rotate towards that duo. Nice find on the Cactus here. This map awareness from Clix and Vino, given that this is their natural terrain, is flexing right now. But Giras and Shari, they let up the pedal a little bit, and all of a sudden now they're perched up above them. Clix and Vico here do not want to give this one up here, though. They have chased Michael into the storm, who Michael just wants to save his teammate John, but no. He's pushed the wrong way. First through Bryson Bolts, now through Vico and Flixian. Just like that, it's over.
One of the beauties of LAN, I wish you guys could have witnessed it. Vico's mom getting a chance to see him in action, just shouting the moment they find those eliminations. Love to see that kind of cheer forward. As Reet and Ritual, they're going to depend on each other here, trying to power through the likes of Toyota and Mipoli, but Ritual, he's lost his shield entirely, has more than enough to recover though, but what he needs is for Reet to continue to buy him time. So much pressure. Both Mipoli and Toyota choosing to take the same angle, at least for right now, but that could provide the wiggle room opportunity here for Reet and Ritual to get a wraparound effect.
We get to lock in right now. Asia has had quite the appearance so far. I'm looking at the standings on the side, but things are starting to get updated here. I'm seeing teams fall, players and teams get eliminated as things continue to develop here. And talk about Asian teams in the distance. You have Zagu up close, you have Bobby getting closer and closer. So it's almost like Reet and Ritual are just getting surrounded by this entire region here.
And it's not just Asia either. If I'm not mistaken, it looked like Bugha and Aviv are also kind of moseying their way over towards this action taking place by the weapon bunker. But Reet shredding through Mipoli's shield. Not enough to crack him just yet, but still forcing him back. It's clear that Reet and Ritual just want box control, take over the space overlying that bunker so they can make sure that they defend it with their own builds.
Well, Toyota and Mipoli trying to situate themselves with the first stab at the bunker. Bobby and Larpex trying to do the same there as they lurk nearby. On the other side though, high ground here for Center Zone, looking for any teams off in the distance. Chicho and Trulix, the surprise pop-up in that end game last round, really showing up for themselves there. Team Falcon and Valiant,
if he hits
proud of that one.
If he hits someone from right there, man.
Ooh.
Okay, Chicho, we understand.
Chicho's
the modern pistol, clearly one of your preferences for a reason, but still, I don't expect Chicho and Trulix to leave this position anytime soon. This is their bread and butter. Surge base up, take control of teams that are going to be forcibly rotating from those outskirt positions on their drops, and just funnel, control the way that they're actually moving on the map.
Oh, look at this. Unfortunately, second place Rise and Human Out, down and out. Once again, opening things up for a second there, but so far,
also having Surge
that
base.
Asian team has put up quite the performance, right? Representing for the region. That's really the best part about this. We play all year to get the best players from every region globally together in one space to compete against each other. What a flagship event here, but On the other side, Vico and Flixie continuing the story here. They have the bunker now.
Probably rather content as well, knowing that they could take their time, but there is another team starting to approach their position, but it might just be a duo that's gliding overhead. Doesn't seem like they're gonna bother stopping or recognizing the fact even that there's a duo still lingering inside of this weapons bunker. Chapentini, on the other hand, dealing with the likes of Baka and Pars, outskirts of restored reels, and this could be a rather dangerous position because keep in mind, Trulex Chicho, they've got a surge base nearby as well. They could look for prime third-party opportunities, get some good tags in here.
Chapentini now on the run here from Baka and Pars. Smart disengage given that low ground terrain is going to be a lot more difficult to play from. Baka and Pars, honestly not in such a strong position themselves. 28 builds is nothing for a player like Baka, especially in this type of lobby. He really has to start to, piecemeal something together, or their end game is it's going to crumble. It's going to crumble.
Part of the problem for Baka and Pars, though, is that landing by the ship at station, their intent is to try and make a play for one of the forecast towers. We've seen them throughout the majors in the regular seasons, right? And they've tried to consistently make plays for forecast, but they've got to deal with the likes of Peterbot and Poya, who are also making rotates, and it can be difficult for Baka and Pars as well to just maintain their map position because they have so many teams kind of surrounding them, looking to cut them off at every position.
Though it's only game 3, I do want to hit the VODs and see what's going on with Batman, Booga, and Rapid there. They haven't quite really popped off up to the expectations, but hold up. Rift Island now officially secured by Baka and Pars. This is honestly a very, very good pickup here if they, of course, can get the loot, but elimination will be even better. TD gets hurt in the process here. Chap secures the high position here in defense for his teammate. Singles out Baka. Baka down to just wood builds. They need to get some of the outskirts here. And already Chapentini secure the center of course, what will be the cache, right? All the loot that's going to go in and spawn out of that.
Capture point could be a really big advantage here for Chapentini as well. Baka Pars recognize more than anything else, they need to try and rebuild their material count. Granted, Rift Island can definitely provide, at the very least, ample amounts of brick, but that's only if they're not disturbed in the process. And it seems as if there are a couple more duos trying to make their way out of Rift Island. Veil Clicks also still hanging out inside the storm. Comes as no surprise, though, really, when you consider the fact they like to stick in the storm a little bit longer than some of these other teams. They're usually pretty consistent about getting those surge type damages, but they can also be very dependent on the vending machine to accrue the heals to make sure that they can afford this time inside storm.
Vending machine makes a massive difference. Bunkers make a massive difference as well as far as having the heals to string together a strategy like this. Cammy and Seti clearly have a stronghold on their area. They're playing deep into the storm, and this is, again, a team that is no stranger to staying in the storm on these invitationals, on these LAN events, right? Like, we've seen it happen every single time. They almost welcome the storm, right? To stay away from the other opponents there.
Cammy and Seti, they were probably cheesing the moment that they found out the hover jets wouldn't be an option for players, because everyone knows, historically speaking, they perform incredibly well, if not possibly the best, during these no mobility or low mobility metas. So, comes as no surprise, really, they were able to find their surge damage a little bit longer than these rotations, but
85 tag,
Malabuka
that's really nice. They're probably gonna
jam-packed action potentially here at Restore Reels. Try some decent shots, but more important aspect still is that Casper and Prism are under some heavy pressure. Those Storm Surge tags trickling in now might cost them all their splashes.
Prism might need to get some surge on Janus.
Starting to rise here. Janus gets pushed in, dropped down to low ground. Just letting the Storm Surge kind of do its thing here for now.
Chug splash.
But Casper doesn't stop. He eggs on solo here into the wall of Pixie and Janus. We've seen what happens to duos before. It normally doesn't end well. Malabuka and Mustache also lurking nearby, hearing what's happening here.
And again, you can technically out-sustain the damage that's dealt, but 25 a tick, not to mention the other teams taking notes, shooting at you as well. Shield crack has gone out. That might be the go sign here for Janus and Pixie. They recognize the fact, though, this duo looking a little bit too desperate for it. Merstash Malabuka instead gonna strike from behind. Casper, Prism, they were so fixated on Janus and Pixie, they had no idea.
140 builds, they have God tier position.
Directly behind
Some
them.
really nice.
Yeah, now Merstash and Malibuca have nothing to worry about. They have so much damage. The refresh is there. They're going to be fully focused in on likely getting to the new line of the Storm here shortly. And they saw, like, this team was fighting another team, so clearly they're very much aware. But wait a second, Pixie knocks on the wrong door. This is a full duo. Little did he know, he was likely thinking this was what was left of the other team that was just there. And Janus falls for being out of position now. Merstash and Malabuca really racking up the eliminations this game.
Devious work there by Merstash and Malabuca, though, the way that they were able to separate Janus and Pixie in that moment. Keep in mind, Pixie definitely still trying to do what he can, but yeah, that is just some very tactical play coming out of Malabuca and Merstash. Their chemistry definitely aligned.
They might be able to
still
kill
trying to do what he can, but Malabuca and Merstash, they know it's a solo hidden somewhere amongst the rubble of these pre-existing builds. Pixie trying to hope they can maintain a little bit better position, but he's just getting shredded. Those builds are not going to withstand all the shots coming in. Malabuca and Merstash with yet another elimination. 807 damage above as well. They can take their sweet time now on the rotates.
And you see it from Merstash's perspective onto Casper. It's a huge, huge shot there in the replay. Very, very well executed. Well, that's going to set themselves up for success. They have nothing to worry about other than get to Storm now. For Vino and Clix, a little bit of a different story here. Still a successful game nonetheless. 2 elims, plenty of material to work with, especially in Clix's reservoir here. However, the damage will start to become a problem soon, but talk about problems here. Kanata's got a big one. He's got XZ Trashy on the other side of the wall. A no teammate, Cooper, who is the returning champion from last year, paired up with Kanata right now, is now found himself watching Kanata having to root from the sidelines.
Yeah, I mean, the ship at station has just been fully skeletonized at this point. All the walls practically torn down. Other player builds replacing them, but Kanata has done a decent job, at least, at forcing Trashy back. And in fact, Trashy so low, Kanata not going to be able to get the outright elimination just yet, but he's hunting it down. Trashy just hoping that he can buy himself a little bit more time, and Kanata's got to be careful, because Queasy and Thomas, they're also nearby.
We already know Queasy and Thomas have the confidence coming off that last game. Big rotate coming out on the other side, though. It's Agers and Rise who are on the move right now. Rise going to be the first to fall in this exchange here to the hands of Bolts. It seems Bolts and Bryce to get the elimination credit here. And Bolts and Bryce are holding on just barely. And Bryce willing to stay in the storm. He needs these materials, trying to pick up what he can here to go and get himself a foundation to work with. And this is a congested side of the storm. Look at how many teams, how many players are sitting around this general area.
This is a lot of our northeast-based teams as well.
Trying to hold off
Bryce,
on the other
at least with that refresh on the material count, he's going to be able to at least dictate which direction he wants to head next. Might be able to protect himself on the disengage as well. Agers, though, might not find himself in a similar fashion. Still, the armored wall will at least prompt a forcible disengage for the time being. Everyone recognizing the fact they've got to scale over this hillside as they approach the raft.
Well, time to make a decision. Agers goes for the fight. And now he's in the storm, but a tag is going to set him off here. The clock is ticking here. Just a couple moments left, and he jumps onto Muzz and Epic Whale. Tries to go for the axe through the wall, but instead delivers the loot to the hands of Muzz and Epic Whale, who really needed that, but the storm ends up doing the rest there on this back edge. And it's just one problem after another now since match 1 for Epic Whale and Muzz here. It's going to be difficult to ask Epic to do much more at this point, given the situation.
Epic just hoping that he can survive, but that dream is shut down instantaneously. Just domed from a distance, and not much left to do except sit and wait for match number 4 to begin. Trulex, on the other hand, though, no Chicho again. Some of our teams that are just trying to lead, unfortunately finding themselves in these compromised positions. If Trulex goes down now, MDF, that's going to be a heavy hit to placement points.
Yeah, definitely will set them back, given that they set themselves up with such a strong position now after that first game. Obviously coming in with a little bit of a lead, but how long can that lead last when you have people like Peterbot and Boyo putting sights on you? And looking at that update there, Cole and Acorn are down. Yuma and Rise are also down. This match 3, almost a defining moment for some teams here that had a real chance to break away, but as all things balance here, it's almost like we're brought down to reality. So Trulex, really the only player now in the lobby that has a 30-point cap, but for how much longer?
He's just trying to stay as concealed as possible and hopefully connect.
An elimination, really?
Yet again, Dukes now forced to play this one out as a solo. His box will get collapsed upon. Nico to lose his Blixie. Another one of our teams in the top 5 wiped out.
That is actually going to be very, very important for everyone who's on the bubble now, looking to jump up into that top 5 spot. And even better for the likes of Peterbot and Boyo, who are very much there. Thomas, HD, and Queasy, who have been running their way up the standings here. Look at this late rotate, allowing them to have this much visual. Not even need to build walls on the side is a sign of confidence on its own.
Look at this Thomas now. He was just taking shots at the lobby leader. He's still got his sights set onto Trulex. Might have even identified him as a solo, but they're going to find themselves chopped. Malabuka, Merstash now trying to make their approach towards Queasy and Thomas. Meanwhile, Peterbot, Boyo, they're currently sitting inside of top 3, 3rd place to be specific, and they're going to instantaneously take over the hill. Prime position, also catching shots, tags, connecting onto Queasy. But the hill height is the real W here.
Well, I hate to call it early, but it is not looking good for the lobby if you're rooting against Peterbot and Boyo right now, as they've got themselves the natural elevation, the material count, and the base already set up. Meanwhile, Queasy finds himself in a bad rotate there, taking down. No Elims earn this game. No chance that Thomas can survive there if he doesn't fight his way up. He doesn't even have mats here, the shield bubble, the saving grace, but also the flare to the lobby. Hey, I'm over here.
There's only so much that Thomas can do from this current position. And first, he's got to break through Yapko and Swizzy, throws out the shield bubble. It's his last hope at this point, hoping that there isn't a duo underneath him, but unfortunately, he won't even get a chance to reconsider where he wants to go next. T-Rock and Boyo, more than content to take the shutdown.
And they're the team up top, looking down on the rest of the lobby here. Other NA players still here, Reet and Ritual. But you have EU's Huddy on the front side with Kovacs there. Peterbot looking down, putting tags onto the roofs of these builds. Huddy and Kovacs have 7 eliminations, but very little material now. It's going to get super scrappy down here. They're in that conversation of top 5 here, though, as they managed to nearly fight their way into a top position now. But things are slowing down. Everyone really thinking about what the next move's going to be, what's best for their situation here in the tournament. Merstash, Malabuka look up, they say no. Peterbot and Boyo are still there.
Huddy and Kovacs, they're actually going to opt to play from inside Storm. Now they're going to make their move, but they're so late on this rotate. Peterbot and Boyo bound to catch wind of this. Immediately the shots rain in. Kovacs trying to scurry around, but he won't escape. There's too much pressure. Peterbot too accurate as well. Another duo right getting flamed here in the mix. Merstash, Malabuka now caught wind of Reet. Unfortunately, front side of zone is not going to be controlled by Reet and Ritual much longer. Malabuka here play.
Yeah, and they did all that for a top 5, right? Look at how slow things have
gone.
Look at the leaderboard. Everyone wants placement points, but the problem is now you're giving Peterbot and Boyo so much more time to decide about how they basically want to win this game here.
Ritual still trying to work his way through. He's crouching, he's breaking the builds, but
Peterbot with 18 builds, they might have to drop.
I hate to call it early, but they are looking
Merstash and Malabuka
to take
not
over
looking too good.
Here in match 3.
Not looking too good for
Malabuka
Malabuka.
has something to say about it.
Got some damage off the Yapko.
And Swizzy. This could be a massive refresh for builds.
Swizzy and Yapko.
Swizzy and Yapko, 8 elims. What a monstrous game for them here. Top 3. making his way through the
Not
builds
that
here. He
good.
still has
I
a
mean,
lot of gas in the tank here to work with. Malibuka and Murstache put up such
Metal
a
walls go
strong
down.
defense there. A great
Yeah,
tag
so
onto
he's
Murstache.
running for it. Making a run for it.
He steps
He's
in now.
gonna
It's time to
aim.
throw it all down.
knows?
It's all or nothing. Right hand peek here for Murstache. Going to work well. Peter Montoya jumps down to the high ground. They're going to get in the mix. One of those goes to them. Murstache is down. Malibuka's down. 2v2.
2v2.
It's
Peterbot and Poyo versus Yakko and
They just need a second now.
Peterbot Poyo, there
is no way anyone can
Swizzy
stop Peterbot
staring
Poyo.
into the layer above. Poyo's gonna fall though.
I
This
know.
could be massive.
I know.
Swizzy could actually take it.
And Swizzy gotta go down. Peterbot taking damage. Peterbot suck my dick, bro. You're so ass. Bro, Peterbot, you're the best player in the world. You just had a Swizzy.
Just when you thought he didn't have a chance, they clutched it up. They pulled through.
I have to put a little bit more respect onto Swizzy's name here. Keep in mind, he's a powerhouse player coming out of EU, but Adam, close on sight.
Thank you so much. Give it up, your game 3 winner.
Let's go. Go Swizzy.
Wow, that was that one-on-one. Peterbot there, right at the very end. You managed to start that out perfectly, but walk us through the final stages, how that all went down.
I don't know, like it was actually not that hard.
Not as hard, not as hard. Peterbot and Pure have been
No.
very strong throughout the competition so far.
I was
But yeah,
shaking
you guys
so
are
hard.
looking very good too. Walk us through the first 3 games of this competition. How has it felt for you two as a
Yeah.
duo? Is everything panning
don't.
out as you expected?
Yeah, we just adapted very good, I think, and we're just playing very good. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
pretty
going
confident we
Swizzy
can play
though.
good.
I did not expect them to win
Obviously,
that.
we're
That's
gonna
actually
have a
crazy.
halftime
I
break
thought
now.
the
What do you
Pete's
guys
would
do
win.
behind the scenes? Do you kind of go over tactics, strategy?
like
how do
game
things
2?
go now? What do you just rest and relax for a second?
Yeah, we're just
It
gonna
was
take
Thomas.
some break,
Thomas HD.
like relax and
Thomas and
think
Queasy.
about
We're in game
next
3
three
right
games.
now. Game 3 just
And I'm
ended.
going to ask you as well, watching that at the end there, you watched Swizzy in that one-on-one. Are you feeding anything through on the comms then, or are you just keeping
Game 4
quiet
is
and just
gonna
letting him do
start
his
soon.
thing?
I mean, I'm just coming behind him, you know? I'm just telling him everything. Because I was still alive, so I could see everything on the screen.
Love to see that. One more time, give it up for Swizzy and Yapko, everyone! Thank you very much, guys. Now, obviously, you know that I've got a voice of an
don't
angel,
understand
okay?
how they can.
No one booked me for the halftime show. I can't believe it. I'm devastated. I don't hold
It's
grudges,
so hype, though.
but I actually blame Zeke. I could have done a repertoire of my Fortnite Festival classics, and I couldn't do it. Zeke, I blame you. It's over to you, buddy.
How
That's
did
okay, Adam.
we
You
actually
can blame me.
lose that?
Most people do. My gosh,
I know.
Swizzy
Let's see
here.
Clicks and Vino plays.
You could tell in the moment that like Swizzy in like almost like a state of shock. Like he was literally shaking.
What your name,
And it's
boy?
because
That's
he
crazy.
1v2s Peterbot and Poyo. How many people in that exact
they're still on
situation?
11.
You're literally just like, it's
They didn't win.
that's it. These are the guys that I don't want to be fighting.
Poyo went
This is it.
first.
The final is the game, and he answers the 1v2.
One of those games that you go ahead and you're like, yeah, this one's dope.
We all thought.
Peterbot and Poyo, yeah, they got it right up on the higher ground, and then it comes down to the 1v2. It's like, yeah, they got it.
This is the end
And
of game
I don't
3.
know, Swizzy just hitting incredible shots from the low ground. Peterbot just not
The low
having
ground
everything
is
reloaded right
crazy.
there at
How
the
did
end.
they do that from
Makes
low
all the
ground?
difference.
We
It
are
was a
in the
1v2.
Swizzy era, man. I
And then
can't
Poyo
believe
went down.
it's taken us so
He
long
only
to
has
see
one
this
bullet
player
left
on the
in
big
his
stage.
shotgun.
And if this
He's
is
trying
what we've
to
been
reload,
missing out on,
and then
oh
he
my
ends up
goodness,
getting the
I can't
win.
wait to see what we have in store. This guy has been performing at the highest level of Fortnite for about a year now, right? We saw towards the end of last year in Chapter 4 just how impressive he was when he won FNCS with Putrick. We wanted to see him at Globals. Unfortunately, we couldn't. Even this year, they qualified, they've been dominating EU. We couldn't see him with Vanya, and we thought, oh my goodness. I mean, cool, we get to see him, but it's not going to be the full power duo we thought we would. But Swizzy and Yapko been looking good, man, and Swizzy in particular, shining as always.
I just cannot believe that 10 eliminations onto that duo. And again, on the flip side,
Asian
right, we
Graphic-
still have to
Asian
give
Graphic is
props to
always busy
Peterbot and
200 for
Poyo.
boxing,
They
but
just
never making it to
absolutely
globals.
dominated that game for so long. And those final few moments, right, when there's 3 duels remaining, you just
Yes.
wait. You're like,
Way
okay,
better
when they
than
start to fight
Asian
the bottom, we look to strike. Unfortunately, though, Swizzy was on the other side.
Yeah, this was
Way
actually
better
one of
than
those
Jeff
games that
Boyd.
Peterbot and Poyo pretty much secured second place, or it, could have been that victory royale way earlier than that. It was actually the 6th to 7th zone pool where everybody was actually northeast of Grimgate, but then the zone pulled southwest. It pulled all over that green river that gave everybody the dashes. But the difference there was that Peterbot and Poyo, they actually saved those dashes for 9th zone. Once they were able to rotate in the 9th zone, they used those dashes. They got ahead of Queasy and Thomas. They built up on the hill, and they had high ground for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and like you said, from there you just expect it to be easy street. And for the most part, it was unfortunately those final moments we know
I'm gonna
just
post
how
a
tough it
video
can be.
where
But
it's like
it's such a great sign for
you'll
people.
be
Like, we just talked the game
everyone
before this about how
milking
look,
Peterbot.
those games we saw earlier
Swizzy's
are probably
honest
some of the
reaction.
worst games we'll see them have, and yet they were still racking in big points. It only gets
Dude,
better
but he
from here.
1v2'd them.
I wanted
That's
let's
insane.
take this to a listen from those few moments
Fortnite moment
because
right
that
there.
was just a crazy run from Peterbot and Poyo. Let's take a look.
Alright. We can get all left and get height. We can get all left and get height. Come.
Bro,
Come. Yup.
Are you
Good.
Are you watching Globals right now?
Yeah.
Bro, Swizzy
Peterbot
just
just sold
1v2'd
that,
the
bro.
fuck out of Pete and Poyo, bro.
No, Peter just sold that. Peter sold.
I know, bro. Peter's so ass,
No,
bro.
Peter didn't sold. No, Polo.
Polo.
What's his
Yeah,
name? Whatever
bro,
his
they
name
won
is.
for
He sold. They could have won that, but Polo
I
sold.
know, bro. They're height and they dropped. Like, what are they doing? Bro, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. This Peterbot
I'm
and
streaming,
Polo sold
bro,
first.
I'm streaming the entire Globals. And me and my friend
What's your
were like,
Twitch?
yo, what the fuck? It's not on a Twitch. It's on YouTube. It's on,
You're still first, so that's good.
A conversation about Peterbot's comms. You were listening to them over
Nah,
at
bro.
PWC.
Polo just sold.
I know, bro. Poyo and Peterbot, they could have easily won that, bro.
Plus, Peterbot, Shotgun wasn't reloaded, cause, what Swizzy had, like a
Dude,
drum
I've
mat
been
or
live
something.
for 3 hours and
To see
30
those
minutes
final
streaming
moments
this.
as well. In that situation where they made that beautiful little rotate up the
They-
hill, right? At that point,
Yeah.
second place we could have gone.
I feel
And now the
sorry
thing-
for
okay,
Clicks,
we have an
bro.
opportunity here.
I know.
Look at
Clicks
the
is,
play.
bro.
And again, just
No,
kind of
Charlie.
tell me,
He's so
we are
good.
height, you're not going to get to play the game. But when
Bro,
we're
Charlie
ready,
was
we're
about
gonna
to
get you all
end my
up spot.
stream.
Absolutely, and I mean, look, they're in first place, no surprises
They were playing
there.
so
I think it's
good,
interesting
but
how
I know.
even with their success, if we're going to be critical here,
Polo
we're seeing the
sold,
effects
bro.
of the
I
whole
know.
Ross situation where
You can see Swizzy was shaking, bro.
You
could see he was shaking. He was still in disbelief that he won. What's your YouTube?
Again, he doesn't have as much ammo,
my
he can't
YouTube?
spray as much towards that back
Yeah.
end. When he runs
Yo,
out of
chat,
shotgun
hold
ammo,
on.
he can't switch to his org, right? and use
My
that.
YouTube is
Small fine margins, but it's causing a difference here. But if they're gonna stay in first,
basically my stream is just for like the Fortnite competitive
I
thing.
mean, I'm happy you
And
actually
then
brought the
it
point of the
shows,
rap,
like,
because that game you actually saw something a little bit different. First
hold
two
on.
games was very, very passive. No Elam.
And then
no
it just
competition,
shows you,
no
like,
rush.
calling
This game,
it.
Peterbot actually picked up trash
Oh,
very, very
okay,
early
what's your-
on. So that could be the
What's your-
adaptation that they're
Is
kind of
it-
looking for.
as your
to
Fortnite
make
name?
sure
M?
they get that extra little bit of
Zero.
an edge coming out of the raft.
And
And
zero.
Cammy, right? They also find another impact over
T.
on Cammy to just
GB.
disrupt them and their plans.
GB.
So just crazy. Malibuca Mustache as well.
Underscore
Third in
LOL.
that last game, dude. I don't know. Like,
And
think
then
back to
click
game
on the one
Malibuca
with
Mustache just had this
203 subs.
horrible game. They're just shambles the entire time. They're going down in zone. They're picking each other up, and now they come out swinging.
Yeah, I see it.
With just an
203 subs.
unbelievable performance.
Well, Malibuca
Ah, yeah.
Mustache, that game number 3 right there, they actually took it to Alex Noor. They
Guys,
keyed
now you
them
can
very,
see
very
it.
early on.
I just
But they
subbed.
didn't leave
Yes.
their PY. They
Alright.
did not leave
If you
Rails
want, you can
at
watch
all,
the
right?
stream.
They remained in the zone.
And I can talk to
Yeah.
you in
They
chat.
picked up like 3
Alright.
more
Alright.
eliminations
See
from
you,
the
bro.
PO Islands, picking up
Alright.
stragglers, picking up rotators. So awesome to see that they're very, very familiar around that PY, so much so that they can find Elans even later on in the
I
game.
mean, when you look at Comp Fortnite this year, baby, it's been a matter of
Peterbot and
surge
Poyo
basing
just
here
stole
and
that,
there.
bro.
Yeah.
That is not Malibuca
They stole their
Mustache's
money
game,
and-
right? They want to go into
But they're
places
showing
where
first,
places
so it doesn't
people are
matter.
going to rotate into them, and they want to fight people, and they did that so expertly here. And it felt like a vintage game for them, even towards the end game, right? Just causing havoc on lower layers is what they were always known
he's
for
in there.
doing. And so it's great
One
to see
viewer.
them in there element here on that.
I wanted to call out their
yeah.
sixth place chap and team. We see them just go
Once
up
he
a
starts
few
chatting.
points there. They managed to fight that Rift Island, fight for that Rift Island and claim it. But we did not see them in that end game, right? Think back, they won game number 1, and then it's kind of, they're not necessarily stalling out, but there's something that is kind of keeping them from hitting these final few end games. What's going on? What do you think?
well, maybe it's the giant surprise of them not landing where we were kind of expecting them to land. They're actually landing over at the Nitro.
I wish
Dome,
that
right,
I
which,
could do
you know,
like a
very,
sub count.
very
I'm gonna
like
try
them
to
kind
do
of
it
just
while this
randomly
is
land
going
somewhere. And maybe we're kind of seeing the effects of that, right? Maybe now that players around them have kind of adapted to how those rotations are kind of being made by them, they're like, oh, so this team's going to be doing this now. We're obviously not going to allow them to do that or something like that. But I'm sure there's adaptations being made by some of these players.
Absolutely. I wrote down a whole long list of like effects of them switching up their drop and the team's effects. Before we get to that, though, right? Them landing on actually
Hey,
some
yo.
added context.
You said
It was
yes,
the spot they
Daddy.
landed at, right? Last season,
Wow,
right, when
that's
they were
crazy.
playing. And when you actually look at where they were deciding to land, they never really committed to a spot, right? At one point, they wanted to go reckless and they were going to go towards the underworld.
I'm gonna try
And
to
it's
make
funny, I
a
spoke
live
to
sub
Kanada
count.
and
Just give me a
Cooper a
sec.
couple days ago, and they were like, for sure, those guys are going to go Nitro, bro. They knew, they were like, 100% those guys aren't committing to whatever they're saying they're going to commit to. They're going to land on us. And I guess they were very prepared for it. But even then, man, Trapattini is the kind of thing you expect them to do, right? Have some sort of switch up in game plan.
Yeah,
I
you
love that
did
the casters
some.
going into that game called out micro adjustments, right?
Yo.
Game to game, we're just thinking these little nuanced things. How do we get
Yes,
the upper
it
hand on
worked.
all of these duos? And
Well,
of
never mind,
course,
it didn't.
now being the halfway point is more important than ever to do so.
Yeah, I'm happy that you actually brought up that halfway point, right? And quote-unquote adaptations, because now that we are actually in that halfway mark, the players are off the stage. They're actually behind the scenes right now, and right now they have the opportunity to not only talk amongst themselves, right? Kind of get refreshed, kind of reboot back up into the competition, but the opportunity to also talk to their coaches who are hopefully seeing things that they are not.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking to some of the coaches out here. We were talking to Sven and Razari, right? Those guys coach a bunch of the players here, a bunch of the top teams here. And there are some top teams, I think, who've maybe had a quiet first 3 games. So there's going to be plenty to talk about behind the scenes.
That's right. Well, you heard it here. The players are currently on a halfway point break. So what we're going to do is we're going to step away. When we return, though, game number 4 from the FNCS Global Championship.
Imagine we got a sub count. Yes! We have a sub count. We have a sub count, gang. Bro, I'm raising up the outs right now. How many of y'all can agree about raising up the outs at 3 a.m.? That happens to me all the time. Cat, bro, that's just full on cat. Oh shit, wait. Yeah. Hold on. Make another browser source. Oh. Haha. No. Bro, where is this? I can do a viewer count. At least I can do a viewer count. Hey, brothers. Okay, I need another display capture. Because I sold. I don't know how to make this. Because it doesn't let me log in, bro. Like, it's so dumb. Oh, yeah, now they can see what I'm doing. No. Not necessarily. Wait. Oh, man. Why, bro? I want to watch it, bro, I don't know how to make this sub count.
Well, hello Fortnite fans, Kelly Link here in the Creator Lounge, where I am just surrounded by so many incredible people, and two of my favorite people are going to be joining me right now. Panda, Jacob PR, I feel like we're bringing it back all the way to NA West on the FNCS. It is so good to be talking with you guys. How you doing, Panda?
Hey, listen, it's the Global Championship, so you better believe we're loving it. What's going on, Texas?
It is so exciting, so electric, and I know that so many people here are excited for Game 4, but we do have a little bit of a break, Jacob. But when that break comes back, I'm ready for Game 4. What about you?
Oh, I'm definitely ready for it. Even though there's like a little bit of a slow start and some hiccups, including that last way the game ended, Peterbot and Pollo, oh my god, this is a legacy in the making, and there's 9 more games throughout the weekend, and I couldn't be more stoked.
But man, I thought that was going to be Peterbot and Pollo's game. Everything worked out so well from them on high ground, where we've seen them time and time again. But who was waiting for them on the low ground? Swizzy. Is that something you could have expected, that 1v1 going out that way?
Honestly, yeah, I can't lie. I predicted that was going to happen. No, I'm just kidding, guys. But no, honestly, really it is the nerves, right? That's the biggest moment that Peterbot's had of the day. He came down, he tried to take the fight, and unfortunately it just didn't go his way. But that's how it happens sometimes.
But even without the victory royale, Peterbot and Pollo are currently sitting in first place, and I think that's something a lot of us kind of expected today. Do you think they're going to keep this going?
I 100% think they do. Consistency is key, and in a lot of their big wins throughout the course to get here, it's been their consistency, and Pollo, I think, has been a huge backbone for this roster that doesn't get enough credit, so just a big shout out to Pollo.
Well, speaking of giving credit, Swizzy, absolutely incredible. Not even playing with his main duo of Yapko and still taking the victory royale. What an incredible performance.
Yeah, honestly, listen, you can't count out Swizzy.
Okay.
He is a phenomenal player playing with Yapko. Obviously, shout out
after
Maniac
this
for
game,
not being
guys,
here,
I think I'm gonna
honestly,
stop
this
streaming.
duo
I'll
is
stream day 2
special. They
tomorrow.
still have
I'll stream
a
entire
very,
day 2.
very good shot
me
at
and my
taking that top
friend,
spot.
we're gonna have a
So just
sleepover.
because Peterbot and Pollo
We
are
just
there
wanna hang
now
out, so.
does not mean they've secured it. I'm telling you, there is still a lot of games to play.
Guys, I am so grateful for you to chat for me real quick. And before I let you go and go back to the desk, where can people find you? What do you have planned for the rest of the weekend?
Oh, listen, we got a
Actually,
ton of
I
great
think
stuff
I might
going
just
on this
end stream
weekend.
now.
Make sure to check out Life with Panda.
'Cause
Like
I'm pretty
Panda
bored,
on
too.
all socials. Jacob and I are hosting a post-Global Championship live stream, so make sure you tune in. I can't wait. And, of course, the lovely Kelly Link. I'll let you send it off.
Oh my goodness, thank you. But real quick, Jacob, where can people find you? I know if, as far as Watch Party goes, you are
All right, see ya,
constantly streaming
boys.
FNCS Watch Parties.